Alabama versus Mississippi. We will give you the starting lineups after this on the Dixie Boys Radio Network.
Cable News Network brings the world into your home. They're aggressive, professional for the country roads of Kansas. CNN is there around the clock, breaking and updating news. Hear firsthand news that will impact today and shape tomorrow. Subscribe to the Cable News Network. Call Covington Cable TV at 787-4444. That's 787-4444 for CNN.
But Carroll Home Healthcare is growing fast thanks to you folks who have allowed us to meet your home hospital equipment needs. We've just added a respiratory therapist to better serve our oxygen patients. We've also added enteral feeding to our services and expanded our in-store inventory. When you need anything related to home care equipment from oxygen to walker tips, come in and see why our customers talk about the family feeling they get doing business here. We're in Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030. The family folks. At Food Depot, we invite you to try a new and better way of doing business. You buy the groceries at our cost, plus 10%. This week's specials include large crisp lettuce, 68 cents a head. Thompson seedless white grapes, 78 cents a pound. Soft and gentle bathroom tissue, a 4-pack for only 78 cents. Half a gallon of assorted flavors of Mayfield ice cream for only $1.79. A 4-pack of Flavor Light biscuits, sweet milk or buttermilk, 83 cents. USDA heavy western boneless round steak, $1.65 a pound. Fresh quarter loin pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And quality hamburger or hot dog buns, a 12-pack, only 63 cents. Food Depot in Covington, Conyers, and Stockbridge. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington.
And we are back from the City Pond Complex here in Covington, Georgia. And they're announcing the starting lineups right now, announcing the starting lineup for the Mississippi All-Stars. And we'll give you their lineup in just a moment, but first we'll give you the lineup for the visiting Alabama All-Stars. Donald Juneau is the second baseman. He'll lead it off for Alabama. Kevin Trammell is the shortstop, batting second. Batting third, playing third base in today's game is Al Gonzalez. And the cleanup batter is the center fielder, Ben Mosley. Matt Moore will pitch and bat fifth, and Eddie Harrion is the right fielder. He will bat sixth. Sheldrick Patterson is the first baseman. He'll be batting seventh. William Wright plays left field and bats eighth, and Kevin Brinsfield, the catcher, will hit ninth. And now your starting lineup for Mississippi. Justin Lewis will play center field and lead it off. Rocky Ford at second base bats second. Lance Jones at shortstop will bat third, and the right fielder Chris Nunnally will be hitting cleanup. Micaiah Beard, the first baseman, hits fifth, and hitting sixth is the third baseman, Darren Welch. Brad Payne is the catcher. He'll bat seventh. Nathan Breland is the left fielder. He will hit eighth, and Eric Richardson is the pitcher, and he will be hitting ninth. They're announcing the lineups over on the field next to us on field number one. They're announcing the starting lineups of Georgia versus Tennessee. We'll update you on that game as we go along throughout this game between Alabama and Mississippi, and in just a moment we will have the invocation and the national anthem here from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia.
Through the
That's our invocation, followed by the national anthem. You're at City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. It's the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. We'll take our final pregame break, and then we will be back with live action for you. It'll be Alabama versus Mississippi. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from the City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. We'll be back with the beginning of your exciting baseball game right after these messages.
At Food Depot, we invite you to try a new and better way of doing business. You buy the groceries at our cost, plus 10%. This week's specials include large crisp lettuce, 68 cents a head. Thompson seedless white grapes, 78 cents a pound. Soft and gentle bathroom tissue, a 4-pack for only 78 cents. Half a gallon of assorted flavors of Mayfield ice cream for only $1.79. A 4-pack of Flavor Right biscuits, sweet milk or buttermilk, 83 cents. USDA heavy western boneless round steak, $1.65 a pound. Fresh quarter loin pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And quality hamburger or hot dog buns, a 12-pack, only 63 cents. Food Depot in Covington, Conyers, and Stockbridge.
Oh, it was terrible. Last night I dreamed that I didn't have HBO. I turned on the television, and all the movies had commercials every 15 minutes. The series were old and had been in syndication since 1976. It was horrible. I tried every channel, but it was hopeless. I couldn't find HBO. But then I woke up. I ran to my TV, and there it was, HBO! With uncut and uninterrupted movies like A League of Their Own, Mo Money, Whispers in the Dark, and Strapped, an HBO original movie, plus top comedy series like Dream On and The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling, not to mention World Championship Boxing and Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. Believe me, having HBO is a dream come true, but trying to live without it is a nightmare. So wake up and, get HBO.
Call Covington Cable TV 787-4444. 787-4444.
County, now you have a choice. That choice is Rockdale Team Sports, located in Salem Gate Shopping Center in Conyers. Rockdale Team Sports provides you with everything you'll need for baseball, softball, basketball, football, and soccer. Take advantage of our fast in-house custom lettering and screen printing. We also offer low prices, friendly service, and a complete uniform service. Rockdale Team Sports would like to congratulate all the participants in this year's Little League World Series, and especially the city of Covington.
We're back from the City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. Taking his warm-up tosses for the Alabama All-Stars is Matt Moore. Pardon me, that's Eric Richardson, and he's taking his warm-ups for the Mississippi All-Stars. There's our mistake for the game. We got it out of the way. Kevin Holden along with James Windham for today's action. And Mississippi going back with Richardson, Jamie, after his wild outing last time up.
That's right. Kevin, Richardson looks like he's a nice, tall right-hander. Looks like he gets good leverage on the fastball. Be interesting to see how he bounces back from a rocky start yesterday. Kevin, let me give the defensive alignment for the Mississippi All-Stars. Playing in left field will be Nathan Breland, and center field is Justin Lewis with that great arm that we saw yesterday. Chris Nunnally in right field. Darren Welch will be playing third base. Lance Jones at short. He hit the homer yesterday. Rocky Ford at second base, and he homered on Saturday afternoon for the Mississippi All-Stars. Micaiah Beard plays first base. Eric Richardson, of course, pitching, and Brad Payne behind the plate.
And before we begin, we're going to pause 15 seconds for stations to identify themselves. You are with the Dixie Boys World Series Radio Network.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington.
Brad Payne's throw goes down to second base, and there's a conference on the mound, and the hand is going up for the Mississippi All-Stars from the Mississippi crowd as the All-Stars are about set to take the field. Infielders now going to their respective positions. Donald Juneau, second baseman, going to lead it off for Alabama. Alabama defeated Arkansas 4-2. Juneau led off in that game. He was the leadoff batter playing second base as he is in today's game. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored.
Kevin, we've got a slight breeze blowing from right field to left field, it looks like today. Just enough to keep the spectators cool in the stands.
The wind and the first pitch is low. Hope it keeps us cool up here. 1 ball and no strikes the count.
Mississippi playing on a different field this afternoon. This one, the one directly in front of City Pond.
If a home run is hit to right field, it'll probably bounce in the pond as the 1-0 pitch comes in low. 2 balls and no strikes. Alabama got to this game by defeating Arkansas 4-2 yesterday. In their first game, they had a heartbreaking loss to Texas. Unfortunately, their heart was broken pretty good. It was 17-2. Texas pounding out 18 hits, including 15 runs in one inning. Here's the wind and the 2-0 pitch. Called strike outside corner, 2-1.
That Texas team looking awfully strong.
Texas will play tonight at 8 o'clock against South Carolina. Richardson into the wind, and his 2-1 delivery is swung on and missed, 2-2. We will update you throughout the afternoon on the game going on behind us on field number 1. Many of you interested in the Georgia versus Tennessee game. Also a loser's bracket game. Loser of that game is eliminated, and the loser of the Alabama-Mississippi game is also eliminated. Brad Payne gives the sign. Here's the wind, the 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, 3-2. It'll be Juneau, Trammell, and Gonzalez, first 3 spots in the Alabama order here in the first inning. The wind, the payoff pitch, swung on, chopped at the plate. Count remains full, 3-2.
Richardson throwing a lot of strikes early to the leadoff hitter. Throwing a lot of pitches early to the leadoff hitter, Donald Juneau. Again, a little bit of control problem yesterday, hoping to settle down and bounce back this afternoon.
Eric goes into his wind, and he delivers. Outside, ball 4. So Eric Richardson walks the leadoff man, Donald Juneau, here in the first inning. Here's Kevin Trammell. Alabama shortstop in yesterday's game against Arkansas was 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. Gets the sign from his third base coach.
Very important now for Eric Richardson to keep Donald Juneau at first base.
This Alabama team,
running.
Pardon me, Jamie, this Alabama team stole 37 out of 38 bases in the state tournament, and they had 10 stolen bases against Arkansas yesterday. So this team will steal, and they'll play a lot of hit and run ball, very similar to St. Louis Cardinals in their brand of baseball.
The Alabama team, Kevin, hails from Daphne, Alabama. They are coached by Butch Trammell, Dan Hartley, and B.E. Edwards.
Here's Kevin Trammell standing in, right-handed batter set to go. Here's Richardson with the first pitch to him. Just a little bit high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Famous name for a shortstop for Alabama, Trammell. Of course, Alan Trammell playing shortstop for the Detroit Tigers for years and years, an all-star for many years.
This Trammell spells his name with 1 M and 1 L, very unusual. Just waiting for Lou Whitaker at second base. Stretched by Richardson on the 1-0 pitch. Runner faking the steal. It's high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes.
Of course, our hometown radio station, WGFS AM 1430, once had a Lou Whitaker employed.
And for those of you in Covington, that is an inside joke for Lou Whitaker playing second base, spelled L-E-W. Juneau takes his lead at first base. The stretch from Richardson and the 2-0 pitch. Outside and a little bit high, 3-0.
Once again, Eric Richardson suffering from control problems here very early in the game, just as he did yesterday afternoon. Infielders now, kicking around a little bit of dust, standing back on their heels. This is not good for a tight Mississippi defense.
There is no defense for a walk, as there is a called strike, 3-1. And when you pitch like this, in this type of situation where you throw lots of pitches and lots of balls, your defense really cannot stay on its toes. And the suggested way of pitching by most pitching coaches is to work quickly and throw strikes to keep your defense going. The stretch from Richardson, the 3-1 pitch, swung on, foul down the first baseline, and the count goes full now, 3-2.
Richardson is a rather quick worker. He showed that a lot yesterday afternoon, but he's working quickly, but he's not throwing strikes very often. Once again, running a full count to the second consecutive batter.
So he's got 2 out of 3 in the Ray Miller system, working quickly and changing speeds. Just got to concentrate now on the strikes. Eric Richardson walked 4 in only an inning and 2/3 yesterday against the Virginia All-Stars. Here's the stretch runner going with the pitch. Swung on, grounded down the third baseline. It's a fair ball fielded by Richardson. His only play will be to first. Wide throw. Good play by Beard, the first baseman. 1 down.
Once again, another fine stretch by the tall, lanky first baseman for Mississippi, Micaiah Beard. Once again, he stretches very well down at first base to haul in those throws. That was off the bag to the right field side of first base. Micaiah Beard saved perhaps a run for Mississippi. Also, Kevin Trammell didn't think that ball was going to go fair. Well, he's back now.
Well, apparently it was a foul ball. All of that was for naught. The umpire sends everyone back. Apparently Trammell must have fouled it off a part of his body or off home plate Umpire rules it foul. Count remains 3-2. The stretch by Richardson again. The payoff pitch. Called strike 3 outside corner. Much better result this time for Mississippi as Trammell goes down on strikes.
And Juneau is still at first base.
Here's the third baseman, Al Gonzalez. Third base coach flashing the signs to Gonzalez. Right-handed batter now standing in. Juneau takes his lead off first. The stretch by Richardson, and his first pitch swung on and missed. Challenged him with the high inside fastball, 0-1.
Good fastball from Eric Richardson. He throws that pitch, he'll be in there all day.
Gonzalez will be followed by the center fielder, Ben Mosley. Mosley pitched a complete game against Arkansas yesterday, allowing only 2 runs, both of those coming on solo homers. Juneau again leading and taking off with the pitch. It's a curveball outside. There will be no throw. Good pitch to steal on, and Juneau takes second.
And Kevin, that's exactly what we saw happen to Eric Richardson yesterday. Remember, he was pitching very well when he'd go with the fastball. He had good results with it. Then there was the one high fastball that the umpire called a ball that he wanted for a strike, and he was not the same pitcher after that call.
Richardson has enough heat to get batters out almost strictly with the fastball. The stretch, the 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Good fastball low and inside this time, 1-2.
It's the breaking pitch that he has trouble with. A lot of times that pitch winds up in the dirt, and of course that time it went in the dirt and gave Brad Payne absolutely no chance to try to throw out Donald Juneau at second base.
Juneau now in scoring position, a ball and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. Stretch from Eric Richardson, 1-2 pitch. Did he check his swing? They're going to ask the first base umpire. He said he held up. Did Gonzalez, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That might have been a break for the Alabama All-Stars. I thought he went on that pitch, Kevin, but it's a little hard for us being directly behind the plate to tell.
As far as the crowd from either side, well, it's pretty weak on both sides right now. Mississippi probably has the upper hand in sheer numbers, and will probably have the upper hand in noise as we go on. There's a pickoff play to second. Close play, but he's safe. And a better pickoff throw might have had him, Jamie.
Well, it wasn't such a... Eric Richardson picked off both his shortstop and the runner, I think, on that play. The ball almost went into center field. It was a nice grab by Lance Jones, who didn't quite get to the bag. He got to the bag just in time to make the catch. But Eric Richardson was with a nice snap throw back there. Caught everybody off guard.
Mississippi wearing the white uniforms with the red pinstripes. Alabama wearing a combination of purple and yellow on white. The stretch, the 2-2 pitch, swung on, popped into short right field. Right fielder coming on, lets it fall for a base hit. Runner will be held at third base on the single. Now as the throw comes in, runner tries to take second, throw down there, not in time. Now runner from third coming home, and he will be safe. So the single by Gonzalez, as the throw comes in, he goes to second, and on the throw to second, Juneau scores 1-0 Alabama.
And that was Chris Nunnally, the right fielder, let the ball drop right in front of him. Played it kind of conservatively, that's okay, but he overthrew the cutoff man and tried to throw all the way down to the plate. The runner went down to second base, and of course the run scored after on the throw down from Brad Payne to second. The throw was in time for Brad Payne, but the tag was a little bit high, allowing the Alabama runner to slide in under the tag.
So Gonzalez with the single, he takes second on the throw. And Alabama has the same situation they just had, except they have 1 run in. Runner still at second, 1 out. That runner is now Al Gonzalez. The batter is Ben Mosley. Alabama center fielder was 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored in yesterday's game against Arkansas. Mosley also stole 2 bases in that game. An important note because the Alabama team working on speed stole 10 bases off of Cody Green from the Arkansas team. Here's the stretch by Richardson. Checks the runner, checks him again, now steps off.
And this has been a good Mississippi defense throughout this tournament, Kevin, but the fundamentals such as hitting your cutoff man are going to be very, very important against a very quick Alabama team this afternoon.
And over on field 1, directly behind us, Tennessee has jumped out to an early lead. 3-0 is your score in the first inning in favor of Tennessee. Richardson again steps off. Both games going on right now are losers bracket games. They are elimination games, and the losers of these 2 games will be through for the Dixie Boys World Series tournament. 3 teams have been eliminated. They were all eliminated yesterday. Arkansas, the host team, was also eliminated, and Virginia. The stretch by Richardson. Steps off, fakes the throw to second, runner back safely.
Now, there was a little bit of a communication problem on the Mississippi defense, Kevin. Rocky Ford had called timeout and went in to talk to, that's the second baseman, went in to talk to Eric Richardson, returned. Richardson turned to make a pickoff throw, and nobody was at second base.
Now Rocky Ford, Mississippi second baseman, is right there on the bag, ready to field a throw if necessary. Stretch from Richardson and the pitch. Called strike outside corner, 0-1. We were talking about the host team, Jamie. Did you know that in 19 years of this tournament, the host team has never won a game?
That's not surprising at all, Kevin. Really, the host team is more of a cordiality afforded by the Dixie Boys World Series. Not quite on the same level as these teams who have to go through tough district and state tournaments to get here.
0-38 is the host team record in 19 years. Here's the pitch low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Still, it is a bit surprising that sheer adrenaline hasn't led one of these teams to an upset win.
Well, that's what happened here the very first night. The Covington-Newton County host team was working on adrenaline and was leading after 4 innings, and in the 5th it fell apart. They were playing South Carolina. The South Carolinians scored 9 runs in 3 innings and won 11-3. There's a swing and a miss by Mosley. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Eric Richardson showing good composure here to come back and get ahead of the hitter, Ben Mosley. A little bit rattled with the run scoring and a speedy runner at second base. Able to keep his concentration on the hitter and get ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The wind, the 1-2 pitch, curveball, swung, drilled into left field for a base hit. Runner rounding third is Gonzalez. The throw will be cut off. And as Gonzalez scores, Alabama picks up the lead 2-0.
That ball went right in between the third baseman Darren Welch and shortstop Lance Jones. That was almost a you take it, I don't want it kind of ground ball. Went right in between them. Neither one of them really knew which one would try to cover the ball. Not that either one of them, I think, had much of a play anyway, allowing Alabama to easily score the second run of the inning.
Still only 1 down here in the first. Mosley will take his lead. Here's the pitcher, Matt Moore. Moore is a left-handed batter. The stretch from Richardson, throw to first, and a runner back there safely. Other games going on today. At 8 o'clock there will be 2 more games played. North Carolina will play Florida in an elimination game, and South Carolina will play Texas. Runner goes on the pitch. It's a called strike, but it gets away from Payne. So a stolen base for Ben Mosley, second of the inning by Alabama.
This is, as you mentioned, a very fast Alabama team.
This team will manufacture the runs as well as anybody. They can steal the base better than any team in this tournament. That we have seen. Time is called. Richardson takes too much time.
Moore had asked for time for the umpire and didn't get it, and stepped out and saw that he didn't get timeout, stepped back in and called timeout, and then stepped out. Moore hits from the left-hand side of the plate.
It's very observant of Moore to see that the umpire hadn't given him time. If he had just stepped out, he wouldn't have been in the box for that pitch.
Eric Richardson might have had an easy strike.
Strikes have not come easy for him in the first. There's a swing and a line drive to left field. Nathan Breland on his horse cannot make the play.
To the wall.
1 run is in. Runner rounding second base. Quick throw comes back in there. He is safe. Very close play. It's a double for Matt Moore, and a run scores. It's important that Jamie mentioned that that's off the wall, because from my vantage point, I can't see the left field wall. We are obstructed by the third base fence. Jamie has a better view of that left field wall. So on balls hit to left field, Jamie, we may just let you do the play-by-play on those.
Nathan Breland tried to close in on that ball and stop it from getting to the wall, but it was hit, it sort of took a speedy hop toward the fence when it hit the ground.
Alabama third base coach going out to check his runner at second to see if he's okay. He dove back in head first, was a little bit shaken up, but he's okay. Alabama on top 3-0 after an inning.
And they're working on 3 consecutive base hits, Kevin.
Eric Richardson has a different problem today. It's not the walks, it's the base hits. Here's the right fielder, Eddie Harrion. Harrion, a right-handed batter, standing in. Stretch from Richardson. First pitch to him is low and outside with a curveball. 1 ball and no strikes. Harrion was 0 for 2 yesterday. with a walk and a run scored. He also stole a base.
And, Kevin, Alabama is now noticing that Eric Richardson's having trouble getting that breaking ball over for strikes, so they just sit and wait on the fastball and drive it into the outfield.
A lot easier to hit a fastball than it is to hit a breaking ball at this level. Time is called. Richardson was in his delivery. Has to stop. That's a dangerous thing right there.
That is. This is a little bit unusual for the Mississippi team. We saw that against Florida and against Virginia. Neither one of them ever stepped out and called time, so the Mississippi pitchers were able to go ahead. Alabama much more patient at the plate.
Stretch from Richardson, the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Not to harp on the speed from Alabama, but there were only 2 batters who did not steal a base. The number 3 batter, Al Gonzalez, did not reach base, and the number 9 batter single, that was Kevin Brinsfield, but he had no stolen bases. Everyone else had at least 1 stolen base. Pitch is high and inside, 3-0.
Wasn't that Trammell that struck out? Yeah, the number 2 hitter.
Here's the stretch and the cripple pitch, called strike inside, 3-1. Matt Moore at second base for Alabama, who has put 3 on the board here in the first, and there's still only 1 out. Richardson trying to work out of the jam. Stretches and fires, called strike, fastball right down the pipe. Full count now, 3-2. Harrion being patient. He was not about to swing the bat there, just trying to take the strike from Richardson.
And another 3-2 count from Eric Richardson, throwing a lot of pitches this inning.
The wind, payoff pitch, swung foul back to the screen. Count remains 3-2. Got to give credit to the Alabama hitters for being patient, drawing the walks, taking the balls that are not hittable strikes, and then with the ones that are hittable strikes, driving them hard for base hits. Here's the stretch and the 3-2 pitch, high and inside, ball 4. Runner goes down to third. Throw is into left field, and Moore will trot home with run number 4.
That'll be on an error on the catcher, Brad Payne.
Stolen base as Matt Moore steals third, then scoring on the error by Payne. First error from the Mississippi All-Stars, but they are down big and early.
Second walk of the inning for Eric Richardson, and now manager Jerry Ford wants a timeout in a conference with his pitcher.
Coach Ford just trying to rally the Mississippi team right now. They're having a lot of trouble getting an out. Alabama in this inning started it off with a walk. That was Donald Juneau. He stole second base. Kevin Trammell struck out. Al Gonzalez singled in a run. Then Ben Mosley singled in Gonzalez. Matt Moore hit a double, which scored Mosley, and Moore has just scored here on the stolen base and the error. Alabama putting 4 across. Early, this is as many runs as they have gotten in an entire game, and they get it here in the first inning. They scored 4 yesterday against Arkansas.
That's 1, 2, 3 stolen bases on the inning for Alabama. Catcher Brad Payne will be glad when this inning is over.
Mississippi having trouble getting out of the first. Lots of offense going on field number 1. It's now 3-2 Tennessee in the first inning. There's a squibber first base side. Beard takes it. No one there to cover. Sheldrick Patterson reaches base. Beard had to come off of his first base position to field the ball, but no one was there to cover the bag.
Bit of confusion there on the Mississippi defense, and we saw this on Saturday as well. The ball hit back to the mound. Nobody's really sure who should cover. A little bit of confusion. Runner reaches safely.
First and second now for Alabama. Still only 1 out in the inning. Here's the 8th man to bat, William Wright. Left fielder for the Bama All-Stars was 1 for 3. Singled in the 4th inning. That was against Arkansas yesterday. Payne gets the sign from the first base dugout. Here's the stretch by Richardson. Checks the runner at second, checks him again. Now he fires, swing and a miss at the inside fastball, 0-1.
Both Alabama runners, Kevin, taking adventurous leads. I don't think Alabama's through running this inning yet.
Patterson taking a big lead and directly behind the first baseman. Over at first base, there's a called strike, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. William Wright in a hole early here, with 2 runners on and 1 down. Stretch in the 0-2 pitch, low, 1-2. Talking about the game over on field number 1, Jamie, Georgia and Tennessee have both put some serious offensive numbers on the board in this tournament. Georgia has scored 22 runs in 2 games. Only a 1-1 record to show for it. They put 2 up in the first here. There's a swing and a dribbler back to the pitcher. Richardson, his only play will be to first.
Ball. I think it bounced off the hitter, William Wright, there.
They will call it a foul ball, and both runners will move back to their respective bases. Count is now 1-2. Tennessee has put 20 runs up in their 2 games, and they have a 1-1 record to show for it as well, so lots of offense being scored in this tournament. Micaiah Beard throws the ball to the pitcher, Richardson. They must have had a play going on there.
A hidden ball trick, it looked like.
Couldn't catch Patterson off first base. There's a swing and a ground ball to Beard. His only play will be to touch the bag at first. And look at the runner who is now at third base. Both runners advance on the ground out to the first baseman. Second and third now with 2 down. Here's the catcher, Kevin Brinsfield. Brinsfield, the 9th man to bat in the inning. With 2 down and runners at second and third, Richardson pitching from the windup. There's a called strike outside corner, 0-1. Harrigan off third base, Patterson off second. Payne the stretch. Here's the wind and the pitch. Payne gives the sign rather, and it's by Brad Payne. Back to the screen. 1 run will score. Another runner moves over to third.
That one bounced up to Brad Payne and away from him, went to the backstop. He threw his mask off but couldn't find the ball. Eric Richardson had to come in and tell him where it was. By then, Alabama had scored the 5th run of the inning.
Pass ball allows Alabama to plate run number 5. Wind from Richardson, the 1-1 pitch, swung, driven deep of shortstop and into shallow left center field for a base hit. 1 run will score. Single from Kevin Brinsfield makes it 6-0 Alabama. We'll make a second line for the first inning in your scorebook. Here is Donald Juneau. Earlier this inning, he walked and scored. Now becomes batter number 10 for Alabama.
5th base hit of the inning for the Alabama All-Stars.
Brinsfield taking his lead. Perhaps one of the few folks from Alabama with not much speed. There's a pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. 6-0 your score, Alabama on top. First baseman and third baseman playing shallow on the leadoff hitter Juneau as he takes one outside. 2-0. Wind continues to blow to left field, exactly the opposite of the way it was yesterday. So any ball hit to left field will carry well. 2-0 pitch is outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Yesterday with the wind blowing to right, 2 Arkansas batters hit what would have been easy pop flies to the right fielder. They ended up going over the fence. Opposite field home runs, both of them. Stretch throw to first, nobody's there at first base. Beard was playing behind the runner.
And once again, the wheel's starting to fall off the Mississippi defense today.
Richardson wheeled to fire to first. Beard was playing behind the runner. Richardson has to throw if he goes to first base since he was on the rubber.
And unfortunately, there's nobody you can give the air to but Eric Richardson.
E1 in your scorebooks. Brinsfield in scoring position. The stretch, the 3-0 pitch. Called strike inside corner. That's the delayed strike we have discussed in this tournament. 3-1. Stretch and the 3-1 pitch. Called strike outside corner. 3-2. Umpire a little generous on the last 2 pitches to Richardson. Full count now, 3-2, and the pitch is swung on and missed. And that'll do it for Alabama here in the first, but they have a big first inning. They send 10 to the plate. They put 6 across. They do so on 5 base hits. There were 2 errors, and 1 runner left on base. And at the end of half an inning of play, your score, Alabama 6, Mississippi nothing. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. Alabama leading Mississippi after half an inning, and we'll be back with more exciting baseball action from City Pond Complex in Covington right after this.
Listen to the top brass. We do. And the City of Covington Electric System, you're more than just a customer. You're a utility owner. That makes you our top priority. When you call the tune as one of our customer owners, it's our business to listen. This is what makes public power special. Local control means that everyone has a say in how the utility is operated and how community goals are met. Public ownership of electric service is like owning your own home. Private ownership is like renting it. Because public power is not for profit, our only mission is to provide reliable electric service at fair rates. The City of Covington Electric System counts every citizen as top brass. When you sound off, we pay attention. Look at public power in a new light. After all, it's yours.
It's time for the hot summer clearance sale at Lane Body Shop and Marine on new and previously owned pontoons. Used pontoons starting at $3,500 and closeout prices on new pontoons. Javelin bass boats with Evinrude motors, flat bottom aluminum boats, and pedal boats. Plus clearance prices on all Evinrude outboard motors in stock. Hurry and buy before the 94s arrive and save. Lane Body Shop and Marine is your local boat headquarters, located at 12247 Flat Shoals Road in Covington. Phone number 786-7405 or 787-2060.
In left field will be William Wright. Ben Mosley plays in center field. Eddie Harrion in right field. And on the infield, Sheldrick Patterson at first base. Donald Juneau at second base. Kevin Dremel at shortstop. Al Gonzalez plays the hot corner. Kevin Brinsfield behind the plate. And Matt Moore will be the pitcher of the afternoon.
First 3 batters from Mississippi here in the first inning, Justin Lewis, Rocky Ford, and Lance Jones. Mississippi going with pretty much the same lineup they've used throughout the tournament.
Mississippi offense with its work cut out for it, down 6-0 in the first inning. But if you are going to be behind, it's good to be behind in the first inning. Give you all the rest of the game to catch up.
Mississippi, the kind of team that can scratch for a run here and a run there and probably get back in it if Alabama is on its heels instead of on its feet. Here's the wind and the first pitch from Moore. Called strike. No balls and a strike. Justin Lewis, Mississippi center fielder. 0 for 2 with a pair of walks yesterday against Virginia. Here's the wind by Moore. A 1 pitch, swung on and missed again, 0-2.
Matt Moore is a big right-handed pitcher for the Alabama All-Stars.
Moore gets the sign from his catcher, Brinsfield. He goes into the windy 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, a ball and 2 strikes, now the count. This Alabama offense, nothing to sneeze at as they put 6 runs up in the first inning. The wind by Moore and the 1-2 pitch, swung on, popped up, shallow center field. Center fielder coming in, that's Mosley. He will make the catch for the first out. One down, here's the second baseman, Rocky Ford.
Number 3, Rocky Ford.
Ford, of course, homered in the first game against Florida. A towering shot that cleared the left field wall.
Ford plays a variety of positions. He's played a lot of second base in this tournament. He's also pitched and played a little bit in the outfield. Here's the wind by Matt Moore and the pitch. Swung on, drill, deep center field. Mosley going back, still going back. It's out of here. Rocky Ford putting Mississippi on the board with a solo home run, 6-1. Alabama, your score.
And Kevin, just as soon as we mentioned that Rocky Ford homered in the first game, he comes back and does it again. We'll try to give the Mississippi hitters some more good luck and say that Lance Jones, the next batter, homered yesterday.
Lance Jones hit a 2-run shot yesterday. And Jamie, if this guy hits a home run, I believe Mississippi is going to want you down on their sidelines.
That was a A shot that just cleared the wall in almost dead center field, Kevin. A little to the left field side of center. But make no mistake, Rocky Ford got all of that one.
So Ford with the solo homer. Here on field number 2, which has been much more homer-friendly than has field number 1. Lance Jones the batter. Mississippi shortstop is a right-handed batter. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on, grounded on 2 hops to the third baseman, ranging to his left, makes the play. Gonzalez on to first, and he is out. Good play from Gonzalez.
That was a good play from the Alabama third baseman. Also, we should have had a nice stretch from Sheldrick Patterson at first base for Alabama.
Here's the right fielder, Chris Nunnally. Nunnally misplayed a fly ball into a run earlier this inning, as Alabama put a run across. That was their third of the inning. They ended up with 6.
More bat trouble for the Mississippi All-Stars. It looks. No, that's the on-deck hitter.
Strange rule in this tournament. There's the wind and the pitch. Called strike inside corner. In case you didn't know about it yesterday, Mississippi had too many at-bats on the on-deck circle, and they had about a 3-minute holdup as they got all the bats transferred to the other side of the field. Here's the wind, the 0-1 pitch. Off speed, drilled back to the mound. Moore makes the play, underhand flip to first base. Almost in the dirt, but dug out by the first baseman, Sheldrick Patterson. And that'll do it for Mississippi. They put a run up on the solo home run by Rocky Ford. No errors, nobody left on base. And it's 6-1 Alabama after 1 inning of play. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. It is the Mississippi All-Stars versus the Alabama All-Stars, live from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. And we will be back with more exciting baseball action after this.
Oh, it was terrible. Last night I dreamed that I didn't have HBO. I turned on the television, and all the movies had commercials every 15 minutes. The series were old and had been in syndication since 1976. It was horrible. I tried every channel, but it was hopeless. I couldn't find HBO. But then I woke up. I ran to my TV, and there it was, HBO, with uncut and uninterrupted movies like A League of Their Own, Mo Money, Whispers in the Dark, and Strapped, an HBO original movie, plus top comedy series like Dream On and The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling, not to mention World Championship Boxing and Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. Believe me, having HBO is a dream come true, but trying to live without it is a nightmare. So wake up and, get HBO.
Call Covington Cable TV 787-4444. 787-4444.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430 Covington.
Good breaking pitch, started on the outside part of the plate and then moved off the plate.
He gets that over the plate a couple of times for strikes, and that could completely change his confidence.
He's got 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third. Here's Al Gonzalez. Alabama third baseman takes a strike on the outside part, 0-1. Gonzalez singled and scored in the first. Richardson into the wind. The 0-1 pitch. Gonzalez checks his swing. He went around 0-2. Gonzalez, right-handed batter for the Alabama All-Stars, takes the 0-2 pitch low and outside, 1-2. One down here in the top of the second inning. Alabama put 6 runs on the board in the first on 5 hits. Wind to the 1-2, just low. Gonzalez checked his swing, 2-2. Jamie, can you see what's going on field number 1? Georgia taking on Tennessee over there.
I can't see the scoreboard. The sunlight has bleached out the lights for me.
They say that 3-2 Tennessee is the score, as the 2-2 pitch is low and inside. 3-2 here to Al Gonzalez. So Tennessee maintaining the lead. The wind and the payoff pitch just missed, apparently low. Very close pitch. Call could have gone either way. Gonzalez trotting down to first base with a walk, the third allowed by Eric Richardson. It'll bring up the center fielder for Alabama, Ben Mosley. Mosley 1 for 1. He singled and scored last inning. Runner going on the pitch. It's inside. Throw down to second base is not in time as Gonzalez steals the base standing up. And Alabama once again using their speed with an easy steal. 4th stolen base for Alabama in this game. One-0 pitch is back to the screen. Runner heads for third. Throw down there is not in time. That ball bounced right back to the screen, came right back to the catcher. Runner was taking for third there, and on the wild pitch, Al Gonzalez taking third base. So on 2 pitches, Gonzalez going from first to third.
And again, we start to see the momentum starting to happen against Eric Richardson, just as it did in the first inning. He got the strikeout, then he was ahead in the count to Al Gonzalez. A questionable call awarded Gonzalez first base. Now Gonzalez is standing on third with 1 man out.
Richardson the wind, the 2-0 pitch. Just low, 3-0.
And, of course, he's got a 3-0 count to Ben Mosley. So Richardson in the soup again.
Wind and the pitch called strike outside corner using the fastball, 3-1. Richardson has thrown a lot of pitches here in the first couple of innings. We don't know how long he's going to last. There's a strike 2 on the inside part, 3-2.
He may have to go a pretty good while. We saw Ford pitch a lot yesterday and Nunnally pitch a lot yesterday and in the first game as well.
Wind the 3-2 pitch. Swung chopped at the plate and back to the screen. Count remains 3-2. Once again, this being a loser's bracket game, you've got to pull out all the stops because if you lose, there is no tomorrow. Mosley standing back in. The wind and the pitch. Low, ball 4. And when you're a pitcher who's trying to get back on track after having trouble throwing strikes, it doesn't help to get squeezed a little bit by the umpires.
4th walk of the game for Eric Richardson. Jerry Ford calling timeout. He's going to call in his infield and have another conference with Richardson. And it looks like Rocky Ford's going to pitch now.
So Mississippi making a pitching change, apparently. Ford is talking to his pitcher, Eric Richardson. Rocky Ford has taken the baseball, and we will have a pitching change. So we will break here. You're listening to the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on WGFS AM 1430. It is the Mississippi All-Stars versus the Alabama All-Stars, and we will be back with more exciting baseball action after this. Your new pitcher, Rocky Ford.
Carroll Home Healthcare is the place you get that family feeling when you really need to know that someone cares. We can meet all your home care equipment needs, from hospital beds, wheelchairs, oxygen and lift chairs, to diabetic supplies and blood pressure cuffs. Come by and visit with folks who really care. Carroll Home Healthcare at Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Call us at 786-2030. We want you to get that family feeling too at Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030.
With so many events going on in our world, you need information sources that you can count on. Listen to WGFS, Covington's news and information leader, for the latest on what's going on in Newton County. And for what's going on in our world, tune to CNN. The cable news network is the world's most reliable news source. If you can't get CNN, call Covington Cable TV at 787-4444. Call 787-4444 for CNN.
Your new pitcher for Mississippi, and we're back from the City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. 1993 Dixie Boys World Series, and while Ford takes his warm-up pitches, we have a chance to tell you about the stuff that's gone on the past couple of days here as far as games are concerned. Teams that are now in the winner's bracket include South Carolina, Texas, and Louisiana. All 3 of those teams are undefeated, and South Carolina and Texas play today. Louisiana gets a bye until tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. And the changes for Mississippi, the defensive changes, make these changes in your scorebook as Ford will come in and pitch. Eric Richardson goes out to play center field, and the center fielder, Justin Lewis, will move to second base. Rocky Ford was playing second base. He comes in to pitch. Ford inherits a situation of first and third and 1 out, and the batter is the pitcher, Matt Moore. Moore with the only extra base hit for Alabama thus far. A double scored Ben Mosley in the first inning. Mosley sitting at first base, Al Gonzalez at third.
And Kevin, I'll give you the line on just a second on Eric Richardson.
There's a swing and a miss. Feeble swing at the off-speed pitch, 0-1.
Richardson pitched an inning and a third, gave up 5 hits, 4 walks, struck out 3, and surrendered 6 runs, 4 of them earned.
Tough outing for Richardson. And the 2 runners on base are still his responsibility, so he could allow as many as 8 runs. Runner going with the pitch. Ball is swung, hit down the third base line, just a few inches fair. Third baseman with a nice tumbling catch, but he'll have no play. Gonzalez will score. Mosley moving over to second. He was going on the pitch. Well hit ball, perfectly placed down the third baseline. Nothing anyone from Mississippi could do. It's a strict base hit. 7-1 Alabama. And when you're going bad, those sort of things happen. Those bad luck bounces, a ball staying just fair. That ball could have easily gone foul down the third baseline. Runners at first and second with 1 down. Right fielder Eddie Harrion walked and scored his first time. Stretch of the pitch from Rocky Ford is inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's the second RBI of the game for Matt Moore. I don't know if you mentioned that, Kevin.
Moore with 2 RBIs. I had not mentioned that previously, so thank you very much for doing that. Stretch by Ford, throw over to second base, and Mosley back there safely. Harrion looks at his third base coach for the sign, now standing in. Has an RBI chance here with runners at first and second. Still only 1 out here in the second inning, as Mississippi has really been in trouble in the first 2 innings. Pitch is inside. On the off-speed pitch, 2 balls and no strikes. Mosley and Moore take their respective leads. Mosley with a couple of stolen bases. Has speed like Lloyd Mosby. There's a swing and a foul off to the right. Will bounce just behind the Tennessee grandstands on field number 1. And meanwhile, over on that field, it is 3-2, Tennessee on top. They're in the third inning. Georgia facing elimination if they lose that game.
That Georgia team hails from Valdosta.
2 Georgia teams in this tournament. The host team has already been eliminated from this tournament, so if that Valdosta team is gone, then the host state will not have a team in the tournament. There's a swing and a ground ball to the shortstop. Jones to second for 1, on to first, in the dirt. Ball gets away from Beard, and a run will score. Six for the force play at second base as they force Matt Moore. The throw to first was in the dirt. Don't know if it would have gotten Harrion or not. He's there on the fielder's choice.
Bounced on Micaiah Beer's arm and shot up onto the infield, right into no man's land on the infield, allowing Mosley to score easily.
If he charged an error, though, it would probably be on the throw, as the throw is right there in the dirt. Ford with the stretch, runner going with the pitch. Pitch is swung on, popped up shallow left center field. Second baseman crossing all the way over into left center to make the catch. Somebody with a lot of speed there. That's Justin Lewis. That's the third out, and that's all for Alabama. In the second inning, they put 2 across on 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. And Alabama has a lead of 8-1 after an inning and a half from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. Alabama versus Mississippi, and we'll be back with more exciting baseball action from Covington, Georgia after this.
County, now you have a choice. That choice is Rockdale Team Sports, located in Salem Gate Shopping Center in Conyers. Rockdale Team Sports provides you with everything you'll need for baseball, softball, basketball, football, and soccer. Take advantage of our fast in-house custom lettering and screen printing. We also offer low prices, friendly service, and a complete uniform service. Rockdale Team Sports would like to congratulate all the participants in this year's Little League World Series, and especially the city of Covington.
At Food Depot, we invite you to try a new and better way of doing business. You buy the groceries at our cost, plus 10%. This week's specials include large crisp lettuce, 68 cents a head. Thompson seedless white grapes, 78 cents a pound. Soft and gentle bathroom tissue, a 4-pack for only 78 cents. Half a gallon of assorted flavors of Mayfield ice cream for only $1.79. A 4-pack of Flavor Light biscuits, sweet milk or buttermilk, 83 cents. USDA heavy Western boneless round steak, $1.65 a pound. Fresh quarter loin pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And quality hamburger or hot dog buns, a 12-pack, only 63 cents. Food Depot in Covington, Conyers, and Stockbridge.
The City Pond Complex, it's the bottom half of the second inning. Mississippi with a lot of ground to cover to get back into this game. They will send up spots 5 and 6 and 7 in their order. Micaiah Beard, Darren Welch, and Brad Payne. We'll start with Beard, the first baseman. Big first baseman wearing number 35, very similar to Frank Thomas. Into the wind is Matt Moore. His first pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1.
Micaiah Beard's objective here has got to be just to get on base. Try not to go swing for the fences here. Just get on base, take a walk, a bunt, whatever. Make things happen with his speed on the base paths.
Moore into the wind, and his 1-0 is low and outside, 2-0. Mississippi has got to understand that they cannot hit a 7-run homer. If they're going to get back into the game, they've got to do it one base runner at a time, and they're going to have to be patient and take the walks. That's what Beard is doing thus far. He has a count of 2-0. As Moore winds and he delivers inside corner, called strike 2-1.
Getting back to what we were talking about on the other field, Kevin, Valdosta, more known for its football than baseball teams. Valdosta, home of National Championship High School Football Program.
Valdosta football, every year one of the most successful in the nation, as there's a swing and a miss, 2-2. Some of those folks there on that Valdosta team will be playing football for the Wildcats in the next several years. There's some big guys over there. Here's the wind by Moore, the 2-2 pitch. Low and outside, 3-2.
That's some football program down there. Dress out hundreds of kids.
Certainly the pride and joy of that area. Here's the wind and the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, foul tip, but could not hold on to it. Kevin Brinsfield, could not hold on to it. Count remains full, 3-2. Moore again gets the sign, the wind and the payoff pitch. Swung on, foul, back to the screen, 3-2.
Micaiah might have swung at ball 4 there. That was inside, got it just off the handle, nubbed it back to the backstop.
Another payoff pitch is due, and here it is outside, ball 4. So Micaiah Beard doing his job, taking the walk with Mississippi down 7, needing base runners. And with a runner at first and 1 out, third baseman Darren Welch will be the batter. Darren Welch in yesterday's game against Virginia, 0 for 1, had 3 at-bats but hit 2 sacrifice flies. Beard taking his lead over at first base. One of the fastest men we have seen in this tournament. Just a question of when he will go. Here he goes on the first pitch, outside, throw to second. Beard has to slide in safely. That might be the first time we've seen him have to slide for a stolen base in this tournament. But Beard with the stolen base.
The throw from Alabama catcher Brinsfield was high, allowing Micaiah to slide in safely under the tag. But there wasn't much Brinsfield could do on that pitch. Micaiah had that base stolen all the way, and he dislodged it down at second. The umpire replaces it, stomps it down, and we're ready to go here.
Beard taking his lead at second. They'll have to watch him down there. We've seen Beard steal third in the past. Saw him do it yesterday. And yes, yesterday does qualify as the past. Here's Darren Welch. 1-0 count to him. Pitches low and outside, back to the screen, gets away from Brinsfield. Micaiah Beard down to third base on the wild pitch.
I didn't see it was a wild pitch. Okay.
Wild pitch, as it was about 5 feet outside and hit the dirt. Mississippi now with a runner at third base, still nobody out.
The Mississippi All-Stars from Laurel, Jones County, Mississippi, trying to scratch back into this one.
And we welcome the folks from Laurel, Mississippi, listening to the game today on the Dixie Boys Radio Network.
That's WEEZ down in Mississippi.
Brinsfield with the sign, the wind, the 2-0 pitch, swung on, popped up, center field side, now carrying deep center field. Mosley going back, leaps, and he made the catch. Runner tags at third. He will score easily as the ball was hit to the fence. Great leaping catch from Ben Mosley. Mosley, one of the finest defensive players we've seen in this tournament. He pitched yesterday, fielded his position like a Gold Glover.
The wind wreaked havoc with that ball. It just kept carrying and carrying, and he finally was able to leap and make the catch. I thought it might sail over his head for a second. It looked like it turned from a routine fly ball into just about a home run.
Great job by Mosley for the first out. It's now 8-2 as that run crossed the plate. Pitch is low and inside to Brad Payne, 1-0. So Micaiah Beard plates the second run for Mississippi. There's a swing and a miss, 1 ball and a strike. Mississippi got a run in the first on Rocky Ford's solo home run. Moore winds and he delivers. The 1-1 is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. Georgia taking on Tennessee over on field number 1, just off behind us and to our right. 3-2 is your score there in favor of Tennessee. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3, outside corner. Payne goes down looking. First strikeout for Matt Moore. Here's Nathan Breland. Wind for Moore. First pitch to Breland is a called strike outside corner, 0-1. I don't believe Mississippi had a single lineup change from the last game yesterday to this one. Looks like they put all 9 people in the same spots in the batting order.
Yeah, they brought in a couple pinch runners.
Wind by Moore and the pitch inside, but as far as the starting 9 is concerned, I think the same starting 9 are in today. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Bridgefield gives the sign, and the 1-1 pitch is low, 2 balls and a strike.
Jerry Ford, the Mississippi manager, has a set lineup and goes with what works.
It worked yesterday as they eliminated Virginia from this tournament. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Breland. He swings and misses, 2-2.
And it almost worked in the first game when Florida was able to rally for the win. That was a tight ball game all the way. Florida, I think, won that one 5-4.
1-run victory by Florida in the first game. 2-2 the count, the wind, the 2-2 pitch, low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Matt Moore with 1 walk to his credit here in an inning and 2/3. That batter that he walked came around to score. The wind, payoff pitch is low, ball 4.
Second walk of the ball game for Matt Moore, and both walks coming this inning. Of course, Micaiah Beard was the first one. The walk came home to haunt him as plated Mississippi's second run of the afternoon.
Here's Eric Richardson. Mississippi center fielder started the game on the mound, only pitched an inning and a third. For the second straight day, he had a rough start.
And you know, if there's anybody that wants to make something happen at the plate, it's this young man right here, Kevin. Had a rocky start on the mound in the first inning and then 1/3 of the second.
And after his rocky start, he was replaced by a pitcher named Rocky Ford. There's a swing and a ground ball. Alabama second baseman Juneau has it. He'll go to first. And that'll do it for Mississippi. 1 run, no hits. Couple of walks, plated a run. No errors, and 1 runner was left on base. And after 2, 8-2 is your score. The Alabama All-Stars on top. You're listening to our live coverage of the Dixie Boys World Series. Here from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, it's the Mississippi All-Stars taking on the Alabama All-Stars. And we will be back with more exciting baseball action for you after this.
The City of Covington electric system marches to the beat of a different drummer. The difference is community ownership. Because it's public power, our consumers and owners determine the cadence for electric service in this community. Everyone here is a utility owner. Public power systems are not run for profit. That means all the benefits stay in our community. Local control also means that everyone has a say in how our electric utility can help meet our community's goals. The tempo in our community is set to the needs of our public power customer owners. That's consumer protection at its best. Look at public power in a new light. After all, it's yours.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington. At Food Depot, we invite you to try a new and better way of doing business. You buy the groceries at our cost, plus 10%. This week's specials include large crisp lettuce, 68 cents a head. Thompson seedless white grapes, 78 cents a pound. Soft and gentle bathroom tissue, a 4-pack for only 78 cents. Half a gallon of assorted flavors of Mayfield ice cream for only $1.79. A 4-pack of Flavor Right biscuits, sweet milk or buttermilk, 83 cents. USDA heavy western boneless round steak, $1.65 a pound. Fresh quarter loin pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And quality hamburger or hot dog buns, a 12-pack, only 63 cents. Food Depot in Covington, Conyers, and Stockbridge.
From the City Pond Complex, we head to the third inning. William Wright will lead it off for Alabama. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it to the third baseman. Over to first for the out.
It's Darren Welch at third base with another fine stretch from Micaiah Beard at first.
Jamie, you've become an expert on this Mississippi defense, haven't you? First pitch swinging and one out for Alabama here in the first inning. Here's the catcher, Kevin Brinsfield. He singled and was stranded at second base back in the first inning.
There's our friend from WTYS 1340 AM, Marianna, Florida, Dick Bauer, strolling by.
Wind to the first pitch is a called strike on the inside part, 0-1.
Folks in Laurel Jones might remember Dick from calling the first game in the play-by-play.
Mississippi versus Florida. Florida with the one-run victory. You and Dick had a lot of fun that day.
That was quite a fun ball game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for the Mississippi All-Stars. A
1 pitch outside into the screen, a ball and a strike. He certainly is a fun person to work with.
74 years young.
Aces wild on the scoreboard, a ball and a strike. One down in the third inning. Catcher gives the sign. Here's the wind of the pitch. Swung on and missed. Great pitch from Ford, a ball and 2 strikes.
Rocky Ford with that sneaky quick fastball.
Has the number 9 hitter in a hold. The leadoff batter, Donald Juneau, who is 0 for 1, is on deck. The wind and the 1-2 pitch swung and popped down the left field line, but it's a foul ball.
Nice job of pitching there by Rocky Ford. Came back with that fastball. I don't think most of the hitters in this tournament they don't expect to see a ball get up there that quick from such a kid that's not that big in physical stature, but he was way out in front of the breaking ball there, set it up well with the fastball.
1-2 pitch is low and outside, 2-2. Mississippi All-Stars reached this Dixie Boys World Series, posting a 5-1 record in the state tournament. They defeated Hattiesburg 10-5 and Columbia 9-5 to win the championship. State tournament in Mississippi was held in Cleveland, Mississippi. Wind to the 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul back to the screen. Count remains 2-2. Cleveland, a pretty popular name. There's a Cleveland here in Georgia. It's about an hour north of where we are right now in Covington.
There's a local basketball coach, Cleveland, too.
Payne gives the sign. The wind, the 2-2 pitch, swung on, grounded to the shortstop, Lance Jones. Going to be a tough play. Throw to first. He is out. Good long throw from Lance Jones.
Starting to see this Mississippi defense settle down a little bit, Kevin. Rocky Ford has added some stability out there, coming out, throwing strikes, keeping the runners off base.
2 are down now. Here's Donald Juneau. Walked and scored in the first and struck out in the first. He batted twice in that inning.
Steve Carr of the Covington News wandering by.
All the dignitaries from Covington, Georgia are here. There's a pitch and a foul back to the screen, 1-0. Steve Carr, the sports editor for the local newspaper here in Covington. One ball and no strikes to the second baseman for Alabama.
And that's a fellow who's been having fun during this tournament, but we'll be glad when it's over. And working hard.
There's a swing and a foul down the left field line. As Juneau lines one hard foul, it's a ball and a strike. Lots of folks here in Covington have had to work hard to make this tournament a success. And so far, I believe it has been. It's been run very, very smoothly. Except for that one rain delay on Saturday, everything has gone off well and on time.
And we should mention, Kevin, that this has been a culmination of about 2.5 years' worth of work. As Rocky Ford throws one off the plate for a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. They began the process of bidding for this tournament about 2.5 years ago, and once it became apparent that they were in the running, they started sprucing up the field. It was already a nice complex here. This 2-1 offering is grounded to shortstop Lance Jones, who bobbles it and throws not in time. The ball gets away from Micaiah Beard, but Donald Juneau will remain at first. And they began sprucing up the field, planting the crepe myrtles that we talked about yesterday, and just getting the sod in shape here on the ball field. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place to have a tournament. Extra bleachers added, dugouts were added. Just wonderful job the Covington Recreation Commission and volunteers have done here.
This was certainly not a last-minute job, something that took a lot of time to put together. Runner going, it's a pitch out, throw down to second base is not going to be in time, and the ball gets away. Runner going to head to third. Bobbled by the shortstop Jones, he will have no play. Credit him with a stolen base. That is Donald Juneau with a stolen base. And as the ball gets away from the shortstop, Juneau will take third.
And the 6th Alabama stolen base on the afternoon.
Kevin Trammell with a count of 1-0. And the 1-0 pitch hits him.
Grazed him on the inside shoulder, on the right shoulder, as he tried to move out of the way of that pitch, but it just barely nicked him. I'm not sure Rocky Ford is so sure it hit him, but nonetheless, Kevin Trammell's at first base.
Ford is a little unhappy about the call. Mississippi can use all the calls that they can get right now, trailing by 6 in the third inning. First and third for Alabama with 2 down. So if they played anything here, it will take a 2-out base hit from Al Gonzalez. Gonzalez 1 for 1. He's had 2 plate appearances, a single and a walk. He's scored twice. Juneau off third base and Trammell off first. Trammell going with the pitch. The throw will go down to second base. He is safe there, and on the throw down to second, a run will score.
Not often you'll see a catcher try to make that throw down with the runner at third base. Usually they'll try to just not let him give up the base and just hold on to the ball, especially with 2 outs.
We've seen it a lot more in this tournament, them throwing through. It looked like they may have had a play, but the tag was applied late. Pitch is inside, 2-0. So on the throw down to second, Juneau allowed to score, 9-2 Alabama. And the All-Stars from Alabama have a runner in scoring position. The stretch, the 2-0 pitch, swung, chopped behind the mound, tough play. Who's going to get it? Shortstop Jones on to first, safe. Nothing Jones could do. Consider that one a Texas League single.
That ball bounced, chopped right in front of the mound. It bounced way over Rocky Ford's head. Short hopped right to Lance Jones, but by the time he had to wait for the ball to come down, Al Gonzalez was on first base.
Allow me to correct myself. I think I called that a Texas League single, didn't I? That's a Baltimore chop. Texas League or something completely different.
Just had your geography a little mixed up.
It's all these state names. They've got me messed up. First and third for Alabama now, still 2 down. Ben Mosley, the hitter. In his 2 plate appearances, he has singled and walked. He has scored twice. Runner going on the pitch. The throw is faked to second, now goes to third, and it hits Trammell. Does the throw.
And Trammell's not getting up real quickly after that.
Trammell will have to walk that one out.
Looked like it got him on the right shoulder, and of course Trammell was hit by a pitch on the right shoulder. He might be getting a little bit tired of being hit by baseballs. Might have a couple of imprints of seams on his shoulders when he gets home. But that one bounced up. Darren Welch lost it, but fortunately it stopped right behind third base.
Alabama has 7 stolen bases already, and we're only in the third inning. Runners at second and third for the Bama All-Stars. Now with 2 down, 0-1 the count to Mosley. The runners take their respective leads. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Foul back to the screen. That was an 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
Actually, that's 8 stolen bases because they had the double steal on that last play. Score. Going to need a calculator to keep up with all Alabama's stolen bases this afternoon.
Lots of SBs on the scorecard today. 1-2 the count. Ford into the wind, the 1-2 pitch, high and inside, 2-2. Mississippi will send up the top of their order in the third. Justin Lewis, Rocky Ford, and Lance Jones. Wind by Ford, 2-2 pitch, swung, grounded back to the mound. Ford's play will be to first, and that'll do it for Alabama. They put another one across. Alabama gets one hit in the inning. There were 2 errors and 2 runners left on base. And after 2.5 innings to play, your score, Alabama 9, Mississippi 2. You're listening to coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. Here from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, it's the Alabama All-Stars versus the Mississippi All-Stars. And we will be back with more exciting baseball action after this.
It's time for the hot summer clearance sale at Lane Body Shop and Marine on new and previously owned pontoons. Used pontoons starting at $3,500 and closeout prices on new pontoons. Javelin bass boats with Evinrude motors, flat bottom aluminum boats, and pedal boats. Plus clearance prices on all Evinrude outboard motors in stock. Hurry and buy before the 94s arrive and save. Lane Body Shop and Marine is your local boat headquarters, located at 12247 Flat Shoals Road in Covington. Phone number 786-7405 or 787-2060.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430 Covington.
Tradition and excellence since 1946. That's WGFS, AM 1430, Covington.
And we are back from the City Pond Complex. Kevin Holden along with James Windham. It's the bottom of the third inning, and Mississippi will send up the top of their order as they try to get into this one, trailing by 7, 9-2 your score. Justin Lewis, Rocky Ford, Lance Jones will be the 3 hitters for Mississippi here in the third inning. Meanwhile, looking over on field number 1 where the Tennessee All-Stars are taking on the Georgia All-Stars, your score is still 3-2. After all that offense in the first inning, no one has scored since. It's now in the 5th over there. They're moving along a little bit faster than we are. But in the 5th inning, Tennessee with a 1-run lead. Throw goes down to second base, and we are ready to begin action. In the bottom half of the third inning, Mississippi fans making some noise, trying to rally their team here. Justin Lewis is 0 for 1. Flight out to the center fielder. Checks his third base coach for the sign, now standing in. Brinsfield gives the sign to his pitcher, Matt Moore. Moore goes into the wind and the pitch, called strike inside corner. 0-1.
That is David Jones down at third base for the coaching third base for the Mississippi All-Stars. Jerry Ford at first base.
Moore winds and he delivers. Popped up into center field. Mosley broke back on it, now coming in. Making the catch at right center field for the first out. So Justin Lewis, 2 hard hit balls, 2 flyouts to the center fielder. Here's Rocky Ford. Ford drove one that Mosley couldn't catch over the center field wall for a solo homer in the first inning.
That's a good point, Kevin. That's the only thing Mosley hasn't been able to get to out there in center field. Fine center fielder for Alabama.
Rocky Ford stands in. First pitch from Morris. Swung and drilled into left field. It will fall in for a base hit. And Rocky Ford having a good day. He's 2 for 2.
Nothing cheap about that hit, Kevin Holden. He just nailed it, drilled it into left field, and all they could do was just, get it back to the infield. Stand-up single for Rocky Ford. What other kind is there?
There are lots of singles, though, where the batters will slide head first or dive head first into the bag, and I never have understood that. Sliding into first base, but as there's a pitch that comes in outside, 1 ball and no strikes. I guess whatever you'd like to do out there in the field, you're the ball player, you do what you wish.
I think sometimes ball players' hearts get a little bit ahead of their minds. They don't necessarily think logically that you might get down the bag quicker if you just run through it.
There's a swing and a miss. Good low inside fastball. 1 ball and a strike. Mississippi has put 2 hits on the board, both of them by Rocky Ford, one being a solo homer. Mississippi scored 1 other run on a sacrifice fly. Stretch by Moore, he steps off, and Ford back to the bag. Alabama with 7 hits here in the first 3 innings. They've plated 9 runs.
You wouldn't think Matt Moore would be too concerned with Rocky Ford at first base. He does have a touchdown lead over Mississippi.
There's a swing and a ground ball back to the mound. Moore goes to second for 1. Throw to first is in the dirt. Cannot be dug out by Sheldrick Patterson.
That's Kevin Trammell, the Alabama shortstop, covering at third, making the catch, but throwing into the dirt to first baseman Sheldrick Patterson, allowing Lance Jones to reach safely.
1-6 on the force play. Lance Jones reaching on the fielder's choice. And with 2 down and a runner at first, right fielder Chris Nunnally.
It's the old scorekeeping rule. You can't assume the double play. But still, nonetheless, a good throw might have gotten Lance Jones.
And I think Kevin Trammell will be the first to tell you that he should have had him at first base. Here's the stretch. Runner going with the pitch. Swung on, grounded in the hole. Third baseman coming over, making a great play over where the shortstop normally is. There's a play at second base, and they got him. Third baseman took the ball over by the shortstop area. Didn't have a play. Jones overran second base. Throw came to second. It's a single. But Lance Jones is retired. 5-4, I believe, as the second baseman took the play. And that's the third out for Mississippi. At the end of 3 innings of play, your score is 9-2 in favor of Alabama, as Mississippi putting 2 hits on the board this inning, but no runs. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from Covington, Georgia at the City Pond Complex. It's the Mississippi All-Stars versus the Alabama All-Stars, and we'll be back with more exciting baseball action, and that will come up right after this.
Oh, it was terrible. Last night I dreamed that I didn't have HBO. I turned on the television, and all the movies had commercials every 15 minutes. The series were old and had been in syndication since 1976. It was horrible. I tried every channel, but it was hopeless. I couldn't find HBO. But then I woke up. I ran to my TV, and there it was, HBO, with uncut and uninterrupted movies like A League of Their Own, Mo Money, Whispers in the Dark, and Strapped, an HBO original movie, plus top comedy series like Dream On and The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling, not to mention World Championship Boxing and Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. Believe me, having HBO is a dream come true, but trying to live without it is a nightmare. So wake up and get HBO.
Call Covington Cable TV 787-4444, 787-4444.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington.
It's the top half of the 4th inning. Alabama has put 9 runs up in the first 3 innings. They put 6 up in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. Mississippi trying to hold Alabama scoreless for the first time in an inning this game. And the Bama All-Stars send up Matt Moore, Eddie Harrion, and Sheldrick Patterson. 5, 6, and 7 spots in the Alabama order.
Talk about that play that ended the third inning for the Mississippi All-Stars, Kevin. Lance Jones at second base after the infield single by Chris Nunnally, the shortstop Kevin Trammell for Alabama couldn't come up with it, and as the first pitch from Rocky Ford comes in, swung on down the first base line to Micaiah Beard, bounces off his chest, and Matt Moore will reach safely. But as I was saying, Lance Jones was coming down to second base. I think he lost track of the ball because it bounced almost straight up and behind Trammell, the shortstop. And Matt Moore lost track of the Lance Jones lost track of the ball, overran second base, and Trammell was able to recover, throw to the second baseman, and tag Jones out in time.
That's a tough thing for the Mississippi base runners. Down by 7 runs. They've got to make sure not to make any mental mistakes whatsoever. That one may cost them.
Once again, we were talking about things just not going Mississippi's way today. Just another example of terrible luck for the Mississippi All-Stars. Almost another bad example is Micaiah Beard came up a little slow after that ground ball bounced off his chest. I think it got to him a little bit. But he's still in there and seems to be okay now.
More singles to lead off the 4th inning. He was 2 for 2 coming in, now 3 for 3. Eddie Harrion has reached base twice. He's the batter. Reached on a walk and reached on a fielder's choice. Harrion, right-handed batter, standing in. Stretch from forward end. The pitch called strike outside corner, 0-1.
Matt Moore at first base does have a stolen base. He had one in the first inning, so wouldn't be surprised to see him going. He stole third in the first inning and scored on an error.
The stretch, runner going on the pitch. Pitch is a called strike in the inside corner. Delayed strike number 2. Moore steals second without a throw.
Brad Payne, I think, had a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of his mitt. I think he was expecting Matt Moore to go, and he's a little bit disappointed at himself because I think he knew that he was going and just couldn't quite get a handle on the ball.
9-2 is your score in favor of Alabama. As there's a pitch just low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rocky Ford came in as a relief pitcher in the second inning after Eric Richardson walked Al Gonzalez and Ben Mosley. Ford has allowed 1 run. It was unearned. Throw down to second base. Safe there. Good pickoff play from Ford.
He had Matt Moore leaning the other way, but Moore didn't have a very big lead and was able to get back in time.
Ford again checking the runner at second. 1-2 pitch, swung on, grounded to the shortstop. Jones has it. Has the runner hung up between second and third. Fires to the third baseman, who applies the tag.
That's 6-5 for the first out of the inning.
And Eddie Harrion reaching on a fielder's choice for the second time in today's game. Here's Sheldrick Patterson. Alabama first baseman, 1 for 2.
Reached on an infield single in the first inning, was sacrificed to second, reached third on a passed ball, and scored on an RBI by Kevin Brinsfield. Grounded out to second base in the second inning.
Time is called. Ford takes too much time and Patterson steps out. Jamie, do the Alabama uniforms remind you a little bit of something the Philadelphia Athletics might have worn back in the 50s?
Alabama's uniforms? I was thinking they reminded me of LSU.
Throw goes over to first, runner is back safely.
Wearing purple and gold. There's purple numbers and lettering with gold trim for the Alabama All-Stars. Mississippi looking like the Philadelphia Phillies with red pinstripes.
Runner going on the pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball by the third baseman into left field for a base hit. Harrion can move around to third as he was going on the pitch. Now as the left fielder takes his time getting the ball in, Patterson will take second base.
Mississippi All-Stars tempting fate, throwing the ball all over the infield. Everybody's trying to make something happen and press a little bit. That time, left fielder Nathan Breland held on to the ball a little bit too long and allowed Sheldrick Patterson to get down to second base.
On my score sheet, that's the 6th error from the Mississippi All-Stars. Lots of errors from the Mississippi team today.
I don't think you could really call that an error because he stole before he got to second before Nathan Breland could really put the ball in play. He just simply held on to it too long.
So Breland not the error in the scorebook, but the mental error at least. Runners at second and third with 1 down. William Wright, the left fielder, is 0 for 2. Looks at the first pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Nine runs for Alabama on 9 hits.
William Wright is looking for his first hit of the afternoon, grounding out to Mekhi Beard at first base in the first as he takes a strike, and grounding out to Darren Welch at third base in the third inning.
Two runners in scoring position. Single into the outfield would give Alabama a 9-run lead. Harrion takes his lead off third. Patterson leading off second. Mississippi infield now. Throwing over to bases and stuff like that. 2 balls and a strike to count. Moore looks at his catcher for the sign. He goes into the line, the 2-1 pitch. Called strike. That went on the outside corner, delayed call, 2-2.
Well, if he's lost any velocity, he sure hasn't lost any control.
Brinsfield gives the sign to his pitcher. Here's the 2-2. Just missed outside. Moore wanted the call. Full count now, 3-2. Those of you in the area interested in the game, Georgia versus Tennessee, they go to the 7th inning. Tennessee holding a 3-2 lead. Wind by Moore. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. And Moore setting down Beard and Welch for the first 2 outs in the 4th inning. With 2 down, here's the catcher, Brad Payne. Payne struck out looking in the 2nd. Moore into the wind. Pitcher beginning to settle down here in the 4th. Pitch is low with a fastball, 1-0. Payne, a right-handed batter, standing in. Moore working quickly. Pitch is swung on and missed. At a fastball just off the outside part of the plate, 1-1. This is the 3rd day of the Dixie Boys World Series. 3 teams have been eliminated as the 1-1 pitch is fouled off, 1-2. Yesterday, Arkansas was eliminated by this Alabama team by a score of 4-2. Mississippi eliminated Virginia. That score was 10-6, and the host team got eliminated 12-3 by the All-Stars from the state of Tennessee, and Tennessee maintains its lead 3-2 in the 7th inning. That's over on field number 1. Meanwhile, on field 2, there's a line shot into left field that will fall for a base hit. Brad Payne with a 2-out single.
That, Kevin, is only the 3rd hit of the afternoon given up by pitcher Matt Moore. Surrendered 2 walks, and 2 of those hits came from the same batter, Rocky Ford, who homered and singled back in the 3rd inning. So Brad Payne aboard with 2 outs.
Here's Nathan Breland. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Nathan Breland. Harrison is the pinch hitter. Jacob Harrison pinch hitting now for Nathan Breland here in the 4th inning. Stretching the first pitch from Moore. Outside, good stop from Brinsfield to keep that one from going back to the screen. 1-0.
Brad Payne has pretty good speed down at first base for the Mississippi All-Stars. But with 2 men out trailing 9-2, I wonder if you'll see him go. Pitch from Matt Moore comes up and in on Harrison.
2 balls and no strikes to Jacob Harrison. And Jacob Harrison didn't get a chance to play in yesterday's game, but pinch hitting here. The stretch and the 2-0 pitch low and outside, 3-0. Mississippi put 1 up in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. Trying to climb back into this one, down big, 9-2. Harrison faking bunt, he pulls back. And they're going to say the ball hit him. Apparently the ball hit him on the hand. He was faking the bunt, had one hand way down toward the end of the bat.
Or was that a ball 4? Did they say I couldn't play too well.
Jacob Harrison down at first base with 2 down. 3rd walk allowed from Matt Moore. And the first pitch to Richardson is ball 1. Eric Richardson grounded out to the 2nd baseman, Donald Juneau, in the 2nd inning. Brad Payne off 2nd base, Jacob Harrison off 1st, faked to 2nd base, and Payne back in there safely. This game moving fairly quickly despite all its offense. A little bit over an hour and a half old. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to count.
All the offense came in the first couple of innings, and Mississippi team has settled down since then.
They head to the bottom half of the 7th inning over on field number 1 with the score 3-2 in favor of Tennessee. Tennessee with a left-handed relief pitcher on the mound.
Third base coach David Jones calls timeout to have a conference with Eric Richardson. Saw something about a swing that he didn't like, I guess.
Richardson now standing back in with advice from his coach, and he takes strike 2 on the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes to Eric Richardson. Two runners on, needing a base hit. There's a line shot up the middle. It will be a base hit, and the runner will be waved around third. The play will come to the plate. Brinsfield tags him out, Great throw from the Alabama center fielder.
Mosley once again with a fine defensive play, this time on the throw all the way to catcher Brinsfield without a hop. And it appeared that Brad Payne had the run scored easily, but that was not to be. Brinsfield able to make the easy tag and in the inning.
Ben Mosley is one of the best defensive players we have seen in this entire tournament, both on the mound and in the outfield. And after 4 innings of play, your score is 9-2 in favor of the Alabama All-Stars. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series, Alabama versus Mississippi. Back with more exciting baseball action from City Pond Complex in Covington after this.
I was at Pippin's Barbecue the other day having some pork barbecue, and it was great. But then I looked over at the next table, and they were having smoked chicken, so I ordered that too. And then I found out about the Brunswick stew, so I ordered that. And then I figured, what the heck, why not just order the whole Pippin's Barbecue menu? But I didn't, because I just didn't have the room on the table.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're gonna love what you eat.
Pippin's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
County, now you have a choice. That choice is Rockdale Team Sports, located in Salem Gate Shopping Center in Conyers. Rockdale Team Sports provides you with everything you'll need for baseball, softball, basketball, football, and soccer. Take advantage of our fast in-house custom lettering and screen printing. We also offer low prices, friendly service, and a complete uniform service. Rockdale Team Sports would like to congratulate all the participants in this year's Little League World Series, and especially the city of Covington.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430 Covington.
To the 5th inning, there will be a pinch hitter for Alabama. Leading it off, August Adams is the pinch hitter, hitting for Wright, who was 0 for 2. So here in the 5th, August Adams coming on in a pinch hitting role and some defensive changes for Mississippi.
That's right. We missed the changes an inning ago, Kevin, as we have a conference on the mound right now. Eric Richardson is now the Mississippi left fielder. Justin Lewis returns to center field. Chris Nunley remains in right field. Darren Welch remains at third baseman. Lance Jones at short. Jacob Harrison is your new second baseman. And, of course, Rocky Ford on the mound, Micaiah Beard at first, and Brad Payne behind the plate.
So make all those changes in your scorebook if you can. It's been pretty complicated. First pitch is high and inside to Adams. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Adams did not get a chance to play against Arkansas yesterday. Wind by Ford, and the pitch is swung on and missed. A ball and a strike to count.
We apologize for getting these changes to you so late, but a lot of times here it's catch as catch can with these changes. They're not dutifully reported to this press box.
The 1-1 pitch has popped up, coming back this way, and bounces into the third row of the grandstand down the third base line.
Looks like we almost had a nice one-handed catch in the Alabama stands. Got behind one of those umbrellas that are up for shade, and I couldn't see whether the fan made the grab or not.
The fan is from the Florida All-Star team. Florida will play after this game is over with, and Florida will be taking on North Carolina as the pitch comes inside. 2-2 the count. Florida versus North Carolina will be the next game that we'll broadcast on the Dixie Boys Radio Network. Dick Bowers and myself will take you through that action. That game should begin at 8/7 Central. Here is a swing and a miss, and that's strike number 3. August Adams down on strikes.
The ball got away from Brad Payne, who was able to pick it up and make the tag, but August Adams wasn't paying attention, was already headed back to the dugout as Payne applied the tag to him.
4 strikeouts for Mississippi pitching. The first one by Rocky Ford since coming in the second inning for relief. Here's Donald Juneau. Make that Kevin Brinsfield the catcher for Alabama. Sorry about that. Alabama number 9 hitter is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. Pitch is nubbed off the end of the bat. Beard at first takes it, flips it to his pitcher covering. Good play by Ford. 3-1 goes your put out. 2 down in the 5th inning.
Mississippi All-Stars have had trouble executing that play all tournament long. They've had problems with communication as to who should be covering the bag on that play, but that time it was executed perfectly. Rocky Ford over in time to make the grab from Micaiah Beard at first.
Now 2 down in the 5th, and very quickly, Alabama will now move back to the top of the order. Juneau has had 3 plate appearances. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He's also reached on an error. and he walked in the first inning. Here's the wind by Ford. There's a line shot into left field. Left fielder Richardson coming on, slides. Did he make the catch? What a catch from Eric Richardson. Sliding on the outfield grass, and he made the catch. Alabama goes down 1-2-3 in the fifth inning. We head to the bottom half with your score. Alabama 2, Alabama 9, Mississippi 2. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from Covington, Georgia at the City Pond Complex. It's the Alabama All-Stars versus the Mississippi All-Stars, and we will be back with more exciting live play-by-play action after this.
The folks at Carroll Home Healthcare want you to know why they are growing so fast. It's simple. They care. They try to treat customers like family. Whether you or a loved one needs oxygen, a hospital bed, a lift chair, or just new tips on a walker, come by and get that family feeling that their customers are talking about. They're at Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Call them at 786-2030 and find out what they can do for you. Carroll Home Healthcare, the family place, 786-2030.
Are you planning a special get-together with family and friends? Then do it at Pippin's Barbecue. We'll provide the food and the fun for just a few people or a large group. Or if the party's at your place, let us provide the catering while you enjoy the party. Call us ahead of time or stop by Pippin's Barbecue at both our locations.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're gonna love what you eat.
Pippin's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington.
It's the bottom half of the fifth inning. You are with us on the Dixie Boys Radio Network, and thanks for joining us. We are at City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, site of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. We're in the third day. 2 games going on right now. Tennessee versus Georgia over on field number 1. Tennessee with a 3-2 lead. Georgia in the bottom half of the seventh inning, one last chance. If they are put out without scoring, they will face elimination. Meanwhile, Justin Lewis will lead it off for Mississippi, and he will take a pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Lewis, Ford, and Jones from Mississippi in the fifth.
Talk about that play that ended the top half of the fifth inning for the Alabama All-Stars, as the second pitch sails outside, 2 balls and no strikes to Justin Lewis. That was Eric Richardson in left field making a nice sliding grab to win the inning. Again, this Mississippi defense has really settled down and is playing fine baseball right now, but it may be too late.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, called strike right down the pipe, 2-1.
They've stopped the bleeding. Alabama has not scored since the third inning, but still 9 runs is awful tough to overcome.
2-1 pitch is swung and grounded to the Alabama shortstop. Makes the play and on to first for the out. Kevin Trammell with a nice play, and that'll be the first out.
And credit Sheldrick Patterson with a terrific stretch down there at first base, hauling in the throw.
And the noise you hear over on field number 1 is Tennessee clinching a berth in round number 4, and Georgia being eliminated from the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. 3-2 is your final score, and Tennessee picks up the victory. Here's the wind and the first pitch to Ford, swung on and fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Ford is 2 for 2 with a home run and a single, certainly the most successful hitter thus far for the Mississippi All-Stars. The wind and the 0-1 pitch is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Umpires being escorted off the field.
That. The City of Covington police escorting the umpiring crew off the Tennessee-Georgia field. That brings up a good point that we should mention after this pitch, Kevin.
And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. And go ahead and mention that point.
We've had some terrific umpiring throughout this whole tournament. The umpires, normally when you don't notice the umpires, that's when they're doing the greatest jobs. And we really haven't noticed these umpires out here since day 1 Saturday.
They have done a great job of going unnoticed. Here's the wind and the 1-2 pitch. Swung line, foul. Down that third base line, bouncing off the screen, sending a scare into a couple of the Alabama fans.
It also helps that we have 4 pair of eyes on the field for every game. There are 4 umpires on the field for every game for these Dixie Boys, for the Dixie Boys World Series.
Over on field number 1, Georgia. Players from the Georgia team going out to retrieve their flag in center field, as is the tradition when a team is eliminated. There's a line shot down the third base line, mishandled by the third baseman. Grounding first is Ford. He will head for second base. And Ford in scoring position with 1 down.
I think that was a double all the way. A nice hot shot down the line.
So 4 teams have now been eliminated from the tournament.
2 of them from the state of Georgia.
And the host state no longer has a team here in the Dixie Boys World Series. There will be a 6th team eliminated, and it will happen at the end of this game. It will either be Alabama or Mississippi. Rocky Ford is 3 for 3. He takes his lead at second. The batter, Lance Jones, takes one outside back to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes.
Rocky Ford has not had a problem with Alabama pitching, and as we mentioned in the last inning, that's only the 4th hit given up in the game by Matt Moore. 3 of them to Rocky Ford, as you mentioned.
Ford may have a chance for the cycle if he gets a chance to come up in that 7th inning. Stretched by Moore and the pitch, high and outside, 2-0.
They say that was the hardest one, though. He needs a triple to complete the cycle.
On deck is Chris Nunnally, 1 for 2, with a ground out and a single. Moore checks the runner at second. He is not going. There's a swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike.
Lance Jones, of course, yesterday hit a key home run to help put the Virginia All-Stars out. Send them back to South Boston, Virginia.
Again, the runner takes his lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung and foul back to the screen, 2-2. Alabama has 9 runs. They've had 9 hits. Mississippi with 2 runs. And they have 5 hits, make that 6 hits with the double by Rocky Ford here in the 5th inning. Ford still in scoring position, 1 down. Jones and Nunnally with a chance to drive in run 3 for Mississippi. Here's the stretch by Moore. And the pitch swung on and popped up into center field. Center fielder Ben Mosley is under it, and he makes the catch for the second out. Runner fakes the tag, but he's not headed anywhere. After that gun that we saw from Mosley, gunning that runner at the plate last inning, I don't think anyone would like to take a chance on his arm right now, especially trying to take third base on the center fielder. 2 down. Sorry,
not only a great arm, he's also done a terrific job tracking down some fly balls out there.
Great defensive play by Ben Mosley, and with 2 down, here's Chris Nunnally. Mississippi right fielder is 1 for 2. Here's the pitch, swung on and grounded to the third baseman. Gonzalez makes the play now, bobbles, and the throw to first goes about halfway, bounces right around the pitcher's mound, and a run will score.
Rocky Ford crosses the plate as Al Gonzalez's throw to Sheldrick Patterson sailed way to the right field side of first base and down past the Mississippi dugout. Looks like that was Chris Nunnally down at first base. I thought that they were going to award him second base on the throw, but they didn't. We're going to have a pinch runner for Chris Nunnally, and that looks like that's going to be, is that Kepley, Jason Kepley?
Jason Kepley, number 15, comes in as the pinch runner for Nunnally. We saw Kepley a little bit yesterday against Virginia. Kepley coming in here in pinch running duty.
Looks like we got another change, or do we?
The batter is Micaiah Beard, so no change there.
Nope.
Just a couple of throws back and forth between the pitcher and his first baseman trying to stay loose. Here is Micaiah Beard, 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Matt Moore checks the runner at first. Here's the stretch. And the first pitch to Beard. It is high and inside. A ball and no strikes the count. Matt Moore has 3 strikeouts and 3 walks to his credit here. Part of the reason why he's kept the Mississippi batters from scoring lots of runs is because he's not walking them at this stage of the game. There's a strike on the inside part, 1-1. 2 of those 3 walks came in the second inning. So only 1 walk since then.
Base runners have been rather scarce for Mississippi this afternoon.
Kepley takes his lead, pitches inside, 2-1. Micaiah Beard standing with a closed stance, right-handed batter set to go, swings, fouls one back to the screen on the right-hand side. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Again, as we mentioned the last time Micaiah Beard batted, with his great speed, third baseman Al Gonzalez way back, standing about 3 feet shy of the outfield grass. But with 2 men out, Micaiah swinging away.
Beard having to protect the plate here with 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And the pitch is low and outside, almost in the dirt. Good play by Brinsfield. Full count, 3-2. The focus of attention now on this game as the game on field 1 is over. Again, Tennessee defeating Georgia over there by a score of 3-2. Payoff pitch is swung and grounded to Gonzalez at third base. A chance to redeem himself. His throw to first is on the mark. And that's all for Beard and for the Mississippi All-Stars here in the 5th inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. And after 5 innings of play, 9-3, Alabama with the lead on Mississippi. You're listening to our live coverage of the Dixie Boys World Series from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. It's Mississippi versus Alabama with Alabama on top. We'll be back with more exciting baseball action after this.
In today's world, it's hard to find time for one more business luncheon, one more Girl Scout meeting, one more soccer practice. It seems that everything is vying for prime time in our busy schedules. But one thing that can fit into any schedule is the cable news network. CNN is news around the clock 7 days a week. CNN continually keeps you up to date on breaking news. Call Covington Cable TV for CNN, 787-4444. That's 787-4444 for CNN.
It's time for the hot summer clearance sale at Lane Body Shop and Marine on new and previously owned pontoons. Used pontoons starting at $3,500 and closeout prices on new pontoons. Javelin bass boats with Evinrude motors, flat bottom aluminum boats, and pedal boats. Plus clearance prices on all Evinrude outboard motors in stock. Hurry and buy before the 94s arrive and save. Lane Body Shop and Marine is your local boat headquarters, located at 12247 Flat Shoals Road in Covington. Phone number 786-7405 or 787-2060.
Into the 6th inning, Mississippi versus Alabama. It's the Dixie Boys World Series from Covington, Georgia. Covington has had a fun time hosting the tournament. Tournament is in its 3rd day. It's a 6-day tournament culminating with the championship game on Thursday night. This being a loser's bracket game, the team that loses this game will head on home. It's Daphne, Alabama versus Laurel, Jones County, Mississippi.
Once again, to say hello, like to say hello to our listeners down at WEEZ in Laurel, Jones County, Mississippi.
And we appreciate you being on the Dixie Boys Radio Network. First pitch grounded to the third baseman. Welch makes the play over to first for out number 1.
That's Kevin Trammell who grounded out for Alabama.
Trammell makes out number 1. Other 2 batters due up, Al Gonzalez and Ben Mosley. Gonzalez is 2 for 2. Couple of singles and a walk. He's reached base all 3 times, scored twice. Gonzalez also has 2 stolen bases to his credit.
He singled to right in the 1st inning, Kevin, and reached on an infield single in the 3rd.
Line by Ford, and the pitch swung on, foul down the first base line, 0-1.
After an eventful couple of innings to start off this game, both teams have settled down. Alabama hasn't scored since the 3rd inning, and the Mississippi defense has just really tightened up.
Alabama put 6 up in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and 1 in the 3rd. They have not scored since. Mississippi scoring goes 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, and they picked up another 1 last inning for their 3 runs, 9-3, in favor of the Alabama All-Stars.
Of course, 2 men have, as the pitch sails outside to Al Gonzalez. Was that a strike? I didn't see. Anyway, the scoreboard says 0-1.
I believe the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 pitch is fouled off at the plate. 1-2 should be the count, and as soon as the umpire flashes the signal, we will know for absolute sure. The umpire looks down the third base line, now looks at his pitcher.
2 young men for Alabama have been a key difference in stopping 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 men from Alabama have been the key difference in stopping Mississippi from scoring. That's been center fielder Ben Mosley, who's robbed Mississippi of a couple of runs with a great throw and some nice catches, and of course Matt Moore, the pitcher.
Ford with the wind of the pitch over the batter's head, back to the backstop, 2-2. Ford came into the second inning, relieving Eric Richardson, who went an inning and a third and gave up 5 hits and 6 runs, 4 of those being earned. Since then, Rocky Ford has given up only 4 hits, only 1 of those for extra bases. Rocky looks at his catcher. He rocks and fires 1-2 pitch back to the mound. Diving play by Ford over to first for the out. Rocky Ford sort of falling on that ball to smother it as it came out to the pitcher's mound. Makes the play for the out. 5 in a row retired by Ford and the Mississippi All-Stars.
And Kevin, 3 of those hits that Rocky Ford has given up didn't make it out of the infield.
Here's Ben Mosley, Alabama center fielder, swinging at the first pitch, fouling it back to the screen. 0-1. Mosley is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. He's also walked and he scored twice.
And he's added 2 stolen bases.
Alabama with speed from top to bottom in this order. 0-1 pitch, foul back to the screen. 0-2. And in this Alabama order, everyone in the top 5 spots in the order has stolen at least 1 base.
Mosley uses that great speed in the outfield, too. We were raving about him earlier in this inning, running down everything out there.
Brad Payne setting up outside. Ford into the wind. The 0-2 pitch is outside, but off the plate, 1-2. Alabama third base coach gives the sign to Ben Mosley. Mosley, a right-handed batter, choking up a couple inches on the bat, swings and grounds one to Micaiah Beard at first base, slow roller. He takes it himself, and the speedy Mosley made that a bang-bang play. 3 unassisted, but Mosley and the Alabama All-Stars go down. For the second consecutive inning, Alabama going down 1-2-3. Maybe too late for Mississippi, though, as it's 9-3 in favor of the Alabama All-Stars. You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. It is the Alabama All-Stars versus the Mississippi All-Stars, and we will be back with more exciting live play-by-play action from Covington, Georgia, and that will come up for you right after this.
Oh, it was terrible. Last night I dreamed that I didn't have HBO. I turned on the television, and all the movies had commercials every 15 minutes. The series were old and had been in syndication since 1976. It was horrible. I tried every channel, but it was hopeless. I couldn't find HBO. But then I woke up. I ran to my TV, and there it was, HBO, with uncut and uninterrupted movies like A League of Their Own, Mo Money, Whispers in the Dark, and Strapped, an HBO original movie, plus top comedy series like Dream On and The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling, not to mention World Championship Boxing and Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. Believe me, having HBO is a dream come true, but trying to live without it is a nightmare. So wake up and, get HBO.
Call Covington Cable TV 787-4444, 787-4444.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430 Covington.
Let's pause here, 15 seconds for station identification. You are with the Dixie Boys Radio Network.
Tradition and excellence since 1946. That's WGFS, AM 1430, Covington.
Teddy ball game.
Here we go. It's the top half of the 6th inning. Bottom half of the 6th inning, pardon me, and Mississippi sends to the plate spots 6, 7, and 8 in their order. First batter faking to bunt, pulls it back. Darren Welch takes a strike, 0-1.
Not a bad idea. The Mississippi All-Stars down by 6 runs in the 6th inning. They need base runners very badly. And that pulls in Al Gonzalez at third base, even with the bag.
0-1 pitch is taken low and inside, 1-1. Darren Welch is 0 for 1, struck out in the 4th, hit a sacrifice fly to Ben Mosley in the 2nd. Lots of folks here from the Florida All-Star team. Florida brought a lot of fans. They're from Marietta, Florida. Florida versus North Carolina will be the next game on this field, and that will come up at 8 o'clock. 1-1 pitch is swung on, popped up into right center field. on his horse, the Mississippi center fielder, who now looks like an Alabama center fielder, who makes the catch. That's Ben Mosley making the catch for out number 1.
Your batter, the catcher, number 8, Brad Payne.
Pre-game show for the Florida-North Carolina game starts at 7:50.
And hopefully I'll have time to get my glasses checked before then. And with 1 out here in the 6th inning, here is Brad Payne. Mississippi catcher is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single.
Well, you did say it looked like Ben Mosley out there in center field. And you're right. It does look like him.
It is Ben Mosley, as a matter of fact. How about that?
I think a lot of center fielders around here would like to look like Ben Mosley the way he's been playing defense this afternoon.
Brad Payne, Mississippi catcher waiting to hit. Now time is called as the Mississippi coach talking about something that's going on down the third baseline.
It looks like, does that mean that Nathan Breland is coming back into the game? I think so.
Apparently Breland will re-enter.
He's on deck. Jacob Harrison had been hitting in the 8th spot.
That means more defensive changes in the top half. Get ready, Jamie. Matt Moore's first pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1. So Nathan Breland is on deck, and he will hit in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Payne swings and misses again. 2 pitches well placed just off the outside part, 0-2.
What a gutsy performance by Matt Moore, the pitcher for Alabama.
Moore into the wind, 0-2 pitch, swung grounded on 2 hops by the third baseman Gonzalez for a base hit. Payne rounding first, he'll head for second and pull in there with a stand-up double. So Payne is 2 for 3 after doubling here in the 6th inning, and Mississippi trying to put a rally together as the fans rally behind them. Nathan Breland re-entering the game. His first at bat, he walked. He was then lifted for a pinch hitter. Now re-enters here in the 6th inning. Not often you get a chance to pinch hit for someone who pinch hit for you earlier.
Well, it may be happening. Another change. We got a pinch runner coming in for Jason Payne. That is number 11,
Smith.
Timmy Smith coming in to pinch run.
So Smith comes in to pinch run for Brad Payne. He'll be at second with 1 out.
We may not see any changes defensively, Kevin, as I was about to say, as the first pitch to Breland is on the corner, called strike 1. Breland, what would happen, Jacob Harrison came in and played second base, and Eric Richardson moved over to left field, and it may just stay that way.
Wind in the pitch, popped into center field. Mosley is out there. He makes the catch. Runner tags. Mosley with that gun. Bounces a throw in there. Cut off by the shortstop.
This time he hit the cutoff man, and this was really something, Kevin. Ben Mosley hauled in that fly ball at the fence, threw to the cutoff man, the shortstop, who was standing out in the grass behind second base. After the cutoff man got the throw, he pulled his glove off and shook his hand like the throw stung his hand from the fence. What a great arm out there in center field.
Ben Mosley showing off his arm, and Alabama may try and appeal play. Well, it looks like they won't, because from here it looked like the runner may have tagged just a little bit early. But Alabama willing to concede in this situation. Here's Eric Richardson. Lines one down the right field line. It'll fall in foul, 0-1.
That could have been trouble right there. He didn't miss by much. Way to the opposite field.
A line shot by Richardson, who has played almost every position on the field. No, actually, he's just pitched and played center field and left field. It just seems like a lot more than that. Richardson, a multi-position player. Had some trouble on the mound. But he's made a good sliding catch in the outfield, so he's had good defense. Right-handed batter stands in. The wind for Moore. The 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded. Second baseman makes the play. Over to first. Close play. He is safe. And Smith will score. Mississippi putting another one on the board. It's 9-4. You know Yogi Berra's famous saying.
What, it ain't over till it's over, perhaps?
That's exactly right. Even though you could probably name one of about 700 famous sayings he has, that's the one I'm referring to in this situation. As Richardson singles, and Mississippi with a runner at first.
I'll tell you my favorite Yogi Berra saying.
Stretch from Matt Moore. We'll hear it in just a moment. There's a pitch high and inside. Throw down to second base is in time. Caught stealing. Good arm from the Alabama catcher, Kevin Brinsfield, cutting down Richardson stealing. And Jamie, you know another story. Don't ever begin a story with 2 down because you'll have to start it over again when they begin the top half of the 7th inning. 9-4 is your score in favor of Alabama. Hold that thought, Jamie. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to exciting coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on the Dixie Boys Radio Network. From City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, we've got Mississippi versus Alabama. 7th inning of action coming up for you after this.
Why do people go to Pippen's Barbecue? Because they've heard about the great food, great service, and great prices. Pippen's Barbecue has delicious baby back ribs, Brunswick stew, and smoked chicken. But no matter what you try, you're going to love what you eat at Pippen's Barbecue.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're going to love what you eat.
Pippen's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
At Food Depot, we invite you to try a new and better way of doing business. You buy the groceries at our cost, plus 10%. This week's specials include large crisp lettuce, 68 cents a head. Thompson seedless white grapes, 78 cents a pound. Soft and gentle bathroom tissue, a 4-pack for only 78 cents. Half a gallon of assorted flavors of Mayfield ice cream for only $1.79. A 4-pack of Flavor Right biscuits, sweet milk or buttermilk, 83 cents. USDA heavy western boneless round steak, $1.65 a pound. Fresh quarter loin pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And quality hamburger or hot dog buns, a 12-pack, only 63 cents. Food Depot in Covington, Conyers, and Stockbridge.
Covington, Georgia, we head to the 7th inning of action. Some defensive changes for Mississippi. Jason Kepley has gone in to play second base. And we'll see if there are any other changes, and we will give them to you as we receive them. Here in the 7th inning, it will be Matt Moore, Eddie Harrion, and Sheldrick Patterson, spots 5, 6, and 7 in the Alabama order.
It looks like we've got a new left fielder, and that may be Brad Rowland out there in left field, but I can't see a number. He's too far away.
It looks like a number 4 from this vantage point.
That would be Brad Rowland.
Timmy Smith is in at third base, replacing Darren Welch.
Okay, as I was saying,
your story about Yogi Berra, go ahead.
Yogi Berra was, on a hot August night, he was once introduced to Mayor LaGuardia and Mayor LaGuardia's wife. Yogi was wearing his shirt sleeves at this particular function. Mayor LaGuardia's wife came up to Yogi Berra and said, "Why, Yogi, you're looking rather cool tonight." And Yogi said, "Thanks, you don't look so hot yourself."
Well, Yogi Berra certainly was a master of any kind of phrase.
Still is.
There's a line shot down the first base line by Matt Moore. It'll be a foul ball, 0-1. Doesn't Yogi Berra have a book of sayings? He should if he doesn't.
Well, yeah, there have been a couple of authors that have come out with books of Yogi Berra sayings. I think he also said that he didn't say all those things that they said he said.
Yogi Berra always wanted to thank the fans for making this night necessary. As Ford into the wind, his pitch is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I always like when he was talking about how it gets dark quickly out in the outfield in a particular stadium, and he said it gets darker, it gets late early out there.
Ford into the wind, 1-1 pitch, swung, drilled. Second baseman makes a diving try, can't make the play as it goes into center field for a base hit. Matt Moore with a perfect day. At the plate, he's 4 for 4 in addition to his fine pitching performance.
For every Yogi Berra you can come up with, I can come up with another. We could go all day.
It'll bring up right fielder Eddie Harrion. Harrion has reached base all 3 times, twice on a fielder's choice, and once he walked. That was back in the first inning when Alabama put 6 runs up. That's been the difference in this one, as Alabama has a 5-run lead, 9-4 over the Mississippi All-Stars. The stretch and the pitch on the outside corner. It's a called strike, 0-1.
And really for Mississippi, just that first inning, nightmarish first inning when they gave up 6 runs. Other than that, since then they've only given up 3 and they've scored 4.
Unfortunately, every one of those 7 innings counts. And Mississippi will have to come back with at least 5 in the 7th inning, depending on what Alabama does here.
But this Alabama team could surprise some people later on in the tournament. Very quick team, good defense.
Tremendous amount of speed. There's a runner going with the pitch. It's an off-speed, swung on and missed. No play at second base. Throw goes into center field. Good backup.
Oh, there's another defensive replacement we've missed. That's Darren Welch now moving from third base to behind the plate, taking Brad Payne's place. And that's the first time we've seen Payne out from behind the plate this tournament.
I don't even think Benito Santiago could have gunned him down on that play. It was an off-speed pitch and a good jump. It would have had to take a terrific throw to gun him down. But lots of defensive changes as Smith comes in at third. Welch moving to the plate. Brad Payne leaving the game. Did that last inning for a pinch hitter. Stretch by Rocky Ford. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, foul, back to the screen. Just got a piece of it. Count remains 0-2. We know this much. Ford is still on the mound, and Micaiah Beard is still at first base.
And when I was talking about Alabama surprising some teams, we talked about their great speed and some good defense. If they get some more gutsy pitching performances like Matt Moore has given them today, look out.
0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Harrion down on strikes. Second strikeout for Rocky Ford, fifth for Mississippi pitching in today's game.
Who was it Alabama lost to fall into the loser's bracket again?
Texas 17-2.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah, Alabama had the misfortune of playing the team from Lufkin, Texas. Some big boys from Texas.
The early odds-on favorite, huh?
Texas shut out North Carolina last night 7-0. Rocky Ford with the stretch, and he delivers. Line shot caught by the first baseman Beard. He'll have no play at second. Micaiah Beard, great play as that ball appeared headed down the right field line for a double.
Nobody's given Texas a game yet, have they?
They've played 2 games. This one here against Alabama 17-2, and the one against North Carolina, which was 7-0. North Carolina had them 3-0 until the last couple innings.
So they've beaten their 2 opponents 24-2. Man, that's some spread.
And North Carolina scored 16 runs in their first game. Then they were shut out by Texas. So Texas has the hitting and the pitching. Stretch by Ford and the pitch. Outside, 1-0. August Adams struck out his last time up as a pinch hitter. Standing back in there now in the 7th inning. Ford checks his runner, and the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. And Adams appears just about helpless against that outside fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Second baseman Kepley holding the runner close. 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. Kepley is playing on second base like you might see a first baseman play on when a runner has a lead down there. Adams standing back in, 2-1 pitch, almost hits him inside. It goes back to the screen, not far enough away for the runner to advance. Count is 3-1.
And that's unusual. This Alabama team very, very aggressive on the base paths. Given an opportunity to run, they didn't, and I'm a little surprised by that, Kevin.
And now Coach Ford going out to talk to Darren Welch, who has moved from third base to the catcher's position. Conference on the mound of Mississippi infielders. Talking it over with Rocky Ford. They've got 2 down here in the 7th, just trying to get out of it and put some runs on the board in the bottom half. Mississippi has the top of their order. For the 4th time today, Justin Lewis would lead it off, and that'll be coming up in the bottom half of the 7th. He was the leadoff batter in the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. 2-1 pitch is inside, 3-1 pitch is inside, pardon me, and that's ball 4. August Adams drawing the free pass. First and second, 2 down. Kevin Brinsfield, the batter, 1 for 3.
That's the first walk, Kevin, that Mississippi pitching has given up since the 2nd inning. And that would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th walk overall.
Notice that since they stopped walking the hitters, Alabama has stopped scoring. The run in the 3rd was unearned as Juneau reached base on an error.
Now batting number 21, Josh Lentz.
Josh Lentz will be the pinch hitter. He will take one on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Lentz pinch hitting for Brinsfield. Ford checks the runners at first and second. Now has the sign, the stretch, the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Ford dropped off a good breaking ball there, 0-2. Lentz, a right-handed batter, wears number 21 for the Alabama All-Stars, who hail from Daphne, Alabama. Welch gives the sign to his pitcher. Now Ford will step off.
So they can't get together on the signs. Welch coming in to talk to him. Rocky Ford's looking at the dugout long and hard. It's bit frustrated out there. He had pitched very well since coming on in the second inning, and hated to see that one get away from him with 2 outs and a 0-2 count.
Donald Juneau, second baseman for Alabama, is now up. He's 0 for 3. He has reached base twice, once on an error and once on a walk, and he has scored twice. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it off at home plate, 0-1. Mississippi will need an offensive miracle in the bottom of the 7th. They'll have to plate at least 6 now. They do have the top of their order up in that inning to do that.
That's also the with the pinch hit single by Josh Lentz. As Juneau singles into right field, center field, it gets past the center fielder Justin Lewis, who recovers and throws onto third base. But nonetheless, another run will score.
So Juneau drives in another run. With a single, he takes second on the throw. It's now 11-4 Alabama.
And I was just about to say, the Alabama All-Stars getting production out of the number 9 spot with 2 RBIs in this game.
Kevin Trammell, the shortstop. 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He's also grounded out, and he has been hit by a pitch. Three singles for the Alabama All-Stars have plated 2 runs in the 7th inning. Ford steps off, checking his runners, who are now at second and third. Lentz is at third, Juneau at second. Wind by Ford, and the pitch is high. 1-0 to Trammell. Darren Welch gives the sign to his pitcher, and the 1-0 pitch swung on, fouled off, 1-1. Matt Moore started off this inning with a single. Eddie Harrion struck out. Sheldrick Patterson lined out to the first baseman. Then August Adams drew a walk. Josh Lentz singled in a run, and Donald Juneau singled in another run. There's a swing and a pop fly into deep left center field. Center fielder on his horse will make the catch.
It's Justin Lewis in center field.
And that's out number 3 as Lewis puts away Trammell. But for Alabama in the 7th inning, they put 2 on the board on 3 base hits. No errors, 2 runners left on base. Last chance for the Mississippi All-Stars in the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. We head to the bottom half of the 7th with Mississippi trailing by 7 runs. You're listening to our live coverage of the Dixie Boys World Series here from Covington, Georgia at the City Pond Complex. Back with the bottom half of the 7th inning of action for you after this.
Carroll Home Healthcare carries all your home care equipment needs. Oxygen, hospital beds, enteral feeding, walkers, commodes, lift chairs, or bath seats, we can meet your needs. We're the home with a family feeling. Medicare, Medicaid, and most insurance companies are welcome. Come by and let us meet your home care equipment needs. We're at Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030. That's Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030.
County, now you have a choice. That choice is Rockdale Team Sports, located in Salem Gate Shopping Center in Conyers. Rockdale Team Sports provides you with everything you'll need for baseball, softball, basketball, football, and soccer. Take advantage of our fast in-house custom lettering and screen printing. We also offer low prices, friendly service, and a complete uniform service. Rockdale Team Sports would like to congratulate all the participants in this year's Little League World Series, and especially the city of Covington.
You're listening to our live coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series here on your local sports leader, WGFS AM 1430, Covington.
And we are back, bottom half of the 7th inning, and the last chance for the Mississippi All-Stars. 2 defensive changes for Alabama, which we will give to you right after the first pitch to Lewis, which is grounded back up the middle. Shortstop ranging to his left cannot make the play. It's a single starting off the 7th for Justin Lewis as Mississippi trying to rally from 7 down. Your defensive changes, William Wright has gone back in left field. He had been replaced by pinch hitter August Adams, and Kevin Brinsfield has gone back in to catch.
Just exactly what Mississippi needed here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Kevin. Leading off the inning with a single to center field by the speedy Justin Lewis.
Here's Rocky Ford. Mississippi pitcher is 3 for 3 with a home run, a single, and a double. Swings and lines one to left center field. It's deep, and the left fielder goes back. This one is gone. Rocky Ford has been the hero for Mississippi today. So far it hasn't been enough, but Rocky Ford puts 2 more runs on the board with a 2-run shot. His second of the day.
Third of this tournament.
Well, Rocky Ford has had a terrific day, 4 for 4, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored as well.
A single, a double, and 2 home runs for Rocky Ford on the afternoon. And it's an 11-6 ball game.
So Mississippi now trailing only by 5. Lance Jones, the batter, 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded to the shortstop. Cannot make the play. It goes into center field for a base hit. Or maybe not, depending on what you score. What do you think, Jamie?
Base hit.
Base hit for Lance Jones, his first of the night.
And how important were those 2 insurance runs Alabama added in the top half of the inning?
It would now be 9-6 with a runner at first and nobody out. The situation a lot different now with the score 11-6. And we're going to see a pitching change here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So we will break and be back with you in just a minute. You're listening to our coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. Mississippi versus Alabama. We'll be back after these messages. Your new pitcher coming in from third base, Al Gonzalez.
Carroll Home Healthcare is growing fast thanks to you folks who have allowed us to meet your home hospital equipment needs. We've just added a respiratory therapist to better serve our oxygen patients. We've also added enteral feeding to our services and expanded our in-store inventory. When you need anything related to home care equipment from oxygen to walker tips, come in and see why our customers talk about the family feeling they get doing business here. We're in Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030. The family folks.
Now you have a choice. That choice is Rockdale Team Sports, located in Salem Gate Shopping Center in Conyers. Rockdale Team Sports provides you with everything you'll need for baseball, softball, basketball, football, and soccer. Take advantage of our fast in-house custom lettering and screen printing. We also offer low prices, friendly service, and a complete uniform service. Rockdale Team Sports would like to congratulate all the participants in this year's Little League World Series, and especially the city of Covington.
And we are back from the City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. Chris Nunnally, the pinch hitter, really not a pinch hitter. He was lifted for one, now re-entering the game, pinch hitting for Jason Kepley here in the 7th in his own spot in the batting order. Nunnally had 3 at-bats, 1 for 3 with a single. He also reached on an error, takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. Nunnally looks like he could be a power hitter, Jamie, and it would be 11-8 with a long one here.
Well, he is the cleanup hitter, Kevin, and the line on Matt Moore just a second after the pitch from Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, the wind and the pitch, swung on, tapped weakly to the pitcher, has trouble with it. His only play will be to first. 1 down, Jones moves to second.
Okay, Matt Moore pitched 6 innings, gave up 12 hits, 3 walks, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. And he struck out 1, 2, 3.
Good line from Moore up until the last inning. Kept the walks down. That's the key to this one so far. Here's Micaiah Beard, who is looking for his first base hit today. 0 for 2 with a walk. Swings, grounds one hard to the third baseman. Shorthops it, now can't find it. And all hands will be safe. Had trouble finding it, called an error on the third baseman. That's Matt Moore, who has had a nightmarish 7th inning, first on the mound and now at third base.
Lance Jones moves over to third base on the error as Third baseman Matt Moore tried to come up with the ball and tag Les Jones before he got over to third base. Not in time.
First and third with one out. Darren Welch the batter. Welch is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Runners lead from first and third. The stretch by Gonzalez and the pitch. It's high, 1-0.
Micaiah Beard at first base, speediest runner on the Mississippi team. That fact not lost on Alabama catcher Brinsfield.
Look for Beard to be going at any time here during this at bat. Stretch from Gonzalez and the pitch, runner not going. It's a called strike in the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Still, remember, Brinsfield did throw out Eric Richardson on a stolen base attempt earlier in the game, so they may play it a little more conservatively.
Down by 5. They don't need to get any outs here. Only 2 outs left to go. Called strike inside corner. 1-2 the count. Mississippi needing the plate fly. They've already plated 2 here in the 7th inning. Down 11-4 coming into this inning. Justin Lewis singled and Rocky Ford hit a 2-run home run over the left center field wall. His second home run of the day. Welch, right-handed batter, stands in. Jones off third, Beard off first. Stretch and the pitch. Swung on and missed. And Welch is down on strikes for out number 2. The hopes for Mississippi will rest on the shoulders of Brad Payne.
No, that's, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
Timmy Smith pinch hit last inning, or came in as a pinch runner, we should say. Brad Payne re-entering and hitting here in the 7th inning. Time is called as Coach Ford comes down to check and make sure the folks up in the press box have the change, and they do. Runners at first and third for Mississippi and 2 down. Brad Payne, the last hope for the Mississippi All-Stars. Alabama 1 out away from moving along. Sorry, Jamie.
Payne struck out in the first. As the first pitch to him is down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Payne struck out in the first, singled in the 3rd inning, and was gunned down from center fielder Ben Mosley on the play, and he doubled in the 5th and scored.
There's a swing and a miss at a high fastball. A ball and a strike. Al Gonzalez looking to come in and shut the door on the Mississippi All-Stars. Mississippi trails by 5. The stretch. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt back to the screen. Brinsfield can't find the handle. Finally has a hold of that baseball, and Micaiah Beard will stay at first base. 2-1. Payne was 2 for 3 before leaving the game. So Payne had good luck against Matt Moore, now facing Al Gonzalez. Alabama third baseman came into pitch just a few batters ago. Stretch by Gonzalez and the pitch inside, almost hits him. 3-1.
Payne certainly doesn't want to make the last out here. He made the last out in the first game the Mississippi played against Florida. He was picked off base when he overran second base, and the Florida All-Stars were able to get him in the game.
There's ball 4 inside, and the bases will now be loaded. So the bag's full of Mississippi All-Stars with 2 down. And the batter for Mississippi will be Nathan Breland. Breland has had 2 at-bats in this game. Left for a pinch hitter in the 4th, came back in as a pinch hitter for Jacob Harrison in the 6th. In his 2 at-bats, he has walked and hit a sacrifice fly.
And Kevin, should Breland reach, Brad Rowland will be hitting for Eric Richardson. Rowland, of course, came on as a defensive replacement earlier in the game. But it would be his first at-bat.
Breland, right-handed batter, standing in with the bases loaded. First pitch is inside, ball 1. No place to put this guy. Those 2 insurance runs that Alabama got in the top half looking bigger and bigger with every pitch.
And Mississippi finally able to get some base runners.
Gonzalez, the stretch and the pitch. Lined up the middle for a base hit. 1 run will score. Herr holds up at third as Ben Mosley brings the ball quickly back into the infield. Mosley has got a gun out there in center field, but the single scores a run, makes it 11-7, and the tying run comes to the plate and the tying run is in the person of Brad Rowland. As you mentioned, Jamie, Rowland's first at bat. Rowland pitch hitting for Eric Richardson.
Rowland hitting from the left-hand side.
Representing the tying run, tough situation as this is his first at bat. He's got to come off and perform here in his first at bat. Gonzalez in the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Rowland would be the last hope for the Mississippi All-Stars. If he gets out, it's the end of the tournament for Mississippi. Alabama would move on to the next round.
It's Micaiah Beard at third base, Brad Payne at second base, and Nathan Breland at first base for the Mississippi All-Stars. Time is called as David Jones comes over to confer with manager Jerry Ford. Jones coaching at third base, Ford coaching first base.
Tennessee defeated Georgia earlier today 3-2. They will play the loser of the game between South Carolina and Texas, that being a winner's bracket game. That'll be played tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. The winner of this game will go on to face the winner of tonight's North Carolina-Florida game. That game will also be played at 5 o'clock. Gonzalez the wind, 0-1 pitch, way outside, a ball and a strike.
And a hush seems to have fallen over the Mississippi crowd by and large. Everybody just kind of holding their breath. Of course, Alabama dead quiet over there.
Just looking to get the last out any way possible. 1-1 pitch, swung on, grounded down the first base line. Fielded by the first baseman, Sheldrick Patterson, steps on the bag, and that's it for Mississippi here in the seventh, and that's your ball game as Alabama picks up the victory by the final of 11-7. Mississippi has been eliminated from the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series. We'll take this break, and we'll come back and wrap it up and give you your post-game wrap. You're listening to our coverage of the 1993 Dixie Boys World Series from Covington, Georgia at City Pond Park. It's Alabama defeating Mississippi 11-7. Alabama moving on to the next round, and we'll be back with your post-game show right after this.
Oh, it was terrible. Last night I dreamed that I didn't have HBO. I turned on the television, and all the movies had commercials every 15 minutes. The series were old and had been in syndication since 1976. It was horrible. I tried every channel, but it was hopeless. I couldn't find HBO. But then I woke up. I ran to my TV, and there it was, HBO, with uncut and uninterrupted movies like A League of Their Own, Mo Money, Whispers in the Dark, and Strapped, an HBO original movie, plus top comedy series like Dream On and The Larry Sanders Show starring Gary Shandling, not to mention World Championship Boxing and Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. Believe me, having HBO is a dream come true, but trying to live without it is a nightmare. So wake up and, get HBO.
Call Covington Cable TV 787-4444. 787-4444.
Excuse me, sir. How did you fall in love with Pippin's Barbecue?
Oh, it's a tender love story. First, I went a-courting with an appetizer.
It must have been the hot wings.
Yep, then I got engaged to an entree.
The tender baby back ribs?
Yep, and now I'm a happily married man, although I have been known to flirt with dessert.
Our food and our service just can't be beat. You're gonna love what you eat.
Pippin's Barbecue, Highway 20 South in Conyers and on Alcovey Road in Covington.
Carroll Home Healthcare is the place you get that family feeling when you really need to know that someone cares. We can meet all your home care equipment needs, from hospital beds, wheelchairs, oxygen and lift chairs, to diabetic supplies and blood pressure cuffs. Come by and visit with folks who really care. Carroll Home Healthcare at Covington Plaza next to McDonald's. Call us at 786-2030. We want you to get that family feeling too at Carroll Home Healthcare, 786-2030.
The Mississippi players, the Mississippi All-Star team carrying its flag around the field as they take their lap around the field. And that'll be all for the Mississippi All-Stars here in this tournament. They go down by a score of 11-7. Kevin Holden, along with my broadcast partner, James Windham. I've enjoyed calling the game with you today, and you have the totals for both Alabama and Mississippi in today's ball game.
Likewise, I've enjoyed it, Kevin, and for the Mississippi All-Stars, surprisingly, they have out-hit Alabama this afternoon. They had 13 hits to Alabama's 12, but Mississippi left 9 on base. Alabama left 6 on base. The big difference for well, the big thing for Mississippi, of course, was the performance of Rocky Ford, who you said tied a Dixie Boys World Series record. He had 2 home runs, a single and a double to go 4 for 4 in the game. He also scored 3 runs. So Rocky Ford with a standout performance. The big difference here for the Mississippi All-Stars was a disastrous first and second inning pitched by Eric Richardson, who just did not have it this afternoon. Gave up 8 runs in the first 2 innings, rather. Then Alabama scored again in the third, and it was pretty much over after that, Kevin.
Mississippi could not make the comeback after falling behind by so much early. 11-7, your final score. And for our executive producers and our folks in Laurel, Jones County, Mississippi, at WEEZ, we appreciate you with us on the Dixie Boys Radio Network. And one final note, your final thoughts, Jamie.
That's right. The winning pitcher would be Matt Moore for the Alabama All-Stars. Losing pitcher Eric Richardson for the Mississippi All-Stars. Although give Rocky Ford some credit for pitching a tough ball game, coming in after Richardson, and pretty much doing a good job shutting down Alabama for the rest of the game.
Rocky Ford and Matt Moore, co-players of the game, according to our folks here at the Dixie Boys Radio Network. We appreciate everyone staying with us for Alabama versus Mississippi, and we appreciate you being with us for the duration of this tournament. This is day number 3, and Mississippi being eliminated with the 11-7 loss to Alabama. For James Windham, this is Kevin Holden reporting, saying so long, everybody, from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia.